What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. But we about to get this thing going. We about to get this thing going. Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate everybody that's in attendance right now. We about to get this thing started. Y'all see the title, y'all see the thumbnail. Going to be talking about what's been going on with 50 Cent. We talk a lot about, shout out to Mr. Palmer, baby mama terrorist. We talk a lot about the alienation of fathers. We're going to be touching on that today. And there's a celebrity, somewhat trending situation that's sort of that's revolving around that. So we're going to be getting into a lot of that, breaking a lot of that down, dropping a lot of jewels and pearls of wisdom on this one today. So strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What is going on? Yeah, seeing me get everything set up, getting my cup filled up. Getting my cup filled up for the show today. Welcome everybody who's that's the wrong top. Welcome everybody who's in attendance. I see y'all in here. See y'all in the building. Still dotting I's, crossing T's. Sorry, I'm on a little later than normal. But the show shall roll on. Welcome. Shout out to the early bird squad, those that come in bright and early. Drop a comment before we even get things started. Shout out to Joe Ethereal in the building. F Holiday, Joe Ethereal again. Little Rock 2517 in the building. Shout out to E Capone in the building. Says, what up, y'all? Shout out to Winthrop. LaShawn Jefferson says that why he out the Will done. Oh yeah, he probably yeah. Why are we getting into that? There's some research on this one. There's a lot of things going on here where he had the opportunity to basically, from what I understand, how a lot of things were laid out. He was given a golden opportunity to not necessarily be a part of everything that 50 Cent is building, but 50 Cent basically gave him a golden opportunity, basically tried to create a business for him around, one of his son's passions. and he didn't. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. We're going to be getting into it. We're going to be getting into it. But the geek surgeon in the building, Emin Perry, Alicia Sinclair in the building, RM in the building, said build it while we fly it. Lawrence Retano in the building. Um, who we got? Mr. Hill in the building. Jackie Jack, and as RM said, on the way in, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get ready to go. Let's get this thing started. I was going to cover the Kanye West interview that he did with Tucker Carlson, but I opted not to do that one because this is one thing where I'm at with it. Because we talked about the no voting, no vucking. I hate the nonsense that they do when it comes to politics. You know, they get a black celebrity who can vaguely put together sentences, and they trot them out, and they do that to try to I don't know, gain some popularity, galvanize its base or whatever. But or convert people over, Now, like I said, Republicans will never do no get the booty to the poll. They will never do no backs that thing up type of deal. They'll never do that. They'll never do that. But it was cringy to me back in 2020 when Kanye West was meeting with Donald Trump and had a very sporadically all over the place conversation with Donald Trump. It reminded me very similarly of Cardi B talking to freaking no, Cardi B was talking to Joe Biden and all of that stuff. It's like it looks goofy. It looks goofy, but I understand to some degree they're going to use a little celebritydom to try to try to boost things up, to try to rev the engines. I get it. I do get it. But yeah, I'm never a fan of that. But Republicans do get in that game. But we can rest assured. They will never, I repeat, never do anything that remotely resembles no voting, no vucking. And it's so funny when I went back and watched the Vax That Thing Up video. When I went back and watched that, no vaccine, no vucking, like the term vucking, voting in conjunction with or pre-fucking or whatever, whatever that is, that if you're those terms have been out. That term has been out there a while. I didn't even realize that. In the Vax That Thing Up video, a chick had on a shirt that said no vaxing, no vucking, or something like that. Basically, if you ain't vaxxed, you can't hit this. And they're doing the same thing with the no voting, no vucking. But I don't like to go over the top when it comes to taking credit. But I dropped that first. I was the first one to drop the video on the no voting, no vucking thing. I was the first one to drop the video on that. I caught that fresh off the presses. The actual original video that got like 500,000 views now, closing in on it. Only had like 10,000 views when I caught it. At the time that I dropped mine, they only had like 10,000 views. I caught it when it had less than 5,000 views. So I was one of the first ones to get that out there before it, got all over the place. So, and it's still getting a little views for me. I was hoping it would do a little more, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Charles Merchant says Trump ran on the Republican ticket, but he is not a Republican. I've heard a lot of people make that argument. I'm not that moved by that argument. I really don't care. I mean, my position on things is my position on things. If you convince me that this person is not a Republican, or you convince me that, like somebody, shout out to BGS, he came on here and tried to convince me that I wasn't conservative. Even if he convinced me on the original definition of something, my position on things are still my position on things. And I could look at each party and figure out, or, each platform, each party, each message, and figure out which one I'm more aligned with and go accordingly. So I don't get that much into what this person isn't a true Republican, that person isn't this person isn't that. I don't get that much into that. I don't. I know where I stand on things, and I'm all ears if somebody got better ideas, but I know where I stand on things. Nate, I think Nate is responding. He says that madness is hallmark of the Luciferian left. Salute, chat, salute Bernard Riley. He says Trump is a nationalist and populist. That's better than a Republican. Also, go easy on BGS. Go easy on BGS. You know, I know where you stand. I know where you stand when it comes to like-mindedness. And there's a certain amount of like-mindedness I'm definitely with you on, but I always say this. If there's small differences in political differences, I mean, I say this is the black manosphere. If you honestly believe that somebody has black men's best interest in mind, I pretty much say, you know, I try to fall back on the small differences. I try to fall back on the small differences. I do, but but you are I don't know if he would apply the term liberal to himself, but this is one thing I do know about him that's interesting because I like people like Jason Whitlock. I like Jason Whitlock a lot, and I like Larry Elder less than Jason Whitlock. But BGS said he was when Larry Elder was doing this damn thing on the radio in California. BGS said he was a part of the group that got Larry Elder shut down. they basically ran Larry Elder up out of California. So that's interesting. That's interesting in and of itself right there. That's interesting in and of itself right there. But no. Jason Wolf says, I never receive alerts when you're live. Try to bang the bell. Bang the bell. That no guarantees on that if it's going to work, if it's going to make a difference. No guarantees on that, but just hit that bell and click all, and then you're at least supposed to get it after that. One more thing before I get into it, I'll read one more comment. He says progressives point to the Chinese were referring to conservatives, even though China is purely communist. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean right there. Progressives say that the Chinese were referring to conservatives. I don't know exactly what you mean right there. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the topic. Y'all know one thing that we do here that we talk about a lot. It's an issue that's, kind of close to home with me. I've been through the whole, custody system, child custody, family court. I've been through that. I had my wars, fought my battles, took some L's, got some wins, and ended up with a situation that I'm happy with, that I can stand on, that I can, be proud of. But, it's typically nonsense when men go through that, and even men at the highest levels go through it. But what's worse than the system itself, in my opinion, is if the woman is able to successfully inception the children with ideas about the father, to where even young boys who should be looking up to their father, a boy who has, like I was like, I'm gonna reaffirm, is one of the coolest fathers on earth at that point. Yes, he's a rapper, and I ain't no big fan of a lot of junk that rappers are talking about. But at the end of the day, 50 Cent has, much like Jay-Z, has transitioned, from being just a rapper to a business mogul. 50 Cent's probably going to be a billionaire before all is said and done. It seems like it wouldn't matter what the mom is putting in the ear of that boy, that he should be looking up at his dad like, I need to get on board with whatever my dad is talking about. Okay, he says, Bernard, it's the reason why BGS questions your conservative ideals. He's comparing you to the Chinese. Yeah, I don't think that's a fair comparison. I don't think you can compare modern Western conservatives to communists. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I mean, I respect his history and his research. I mean, he does good history and good research on things. And if he found out the root cause, the root definitions mean something different from how people are using it today, then fine. I'm okay with that. My position is my position, and my position does not change. You can put whatever label on it you want, you know. But I do respect the history and the research. Do respect the history and the research that he does. Whenever, see, I don't watch BGS as much when he's doing live streams, but I do watch him when he does like a 10 to 15 minute pre-record where they're normally packed full of, they're very information rich, and I do like listening to that. That's why I don't understand why people be tripping on BGS, but they said he's a kind of a different animal when you start interacting with him. But I don't know that BGS. I just know I listen to his pre-records, and they're normally pretty good. Normally learn quite a few things. But anyway, let me get on into it. What was the one that I was trying? Oh yeah, this doozy right here. This doozy right here. Now apparently 50 Cent's son has been doing not live streams, but just everybody goes live on Instagram, and when you're the son of a famous person, it tends to go viral. It has a tendency to go viral, put it like that. And so this was all over the internet. A little backstory, because I'm not going to play the whole thing. There was like you can see in the title, 50 Cent's son Marquise and Choke No Joke. I hear about this guy Choke No Joke. I don't know nothing about him, but I do hear his name quite a bit. He said all the liberals are questioning BR. They are too. Paul Game says all the liberals are questioning BR. They are, I think, trying to pull BR from neutral stance. What do you mean neutral stance? That's the problem that I have right there. I don't know what you mean by neutral stance. I'm right when it comes to look. I'm right of center. I've made that clear. I'm far more conservative than liberal. I've made that clear. I do the show every Saturday with Hood Conservative, which is really, shorter for Hood Conservative. I do shows with him for a reason. Because culturally, I think liberalism has done a lot of nonsense culturally that has affected Black people a great deal. And a lot of the nonsense that they have done, a lot of the policies, a lot of the things that has basically happened or been enacted by liberals are part of the root causes of why the manosphere, and by extension, the Black manosphere, even came into existence. So I'm definitely against all that they stand for, all that they do, and all that they continue to do. So my position will always be right of center, because to be left of center is to be standing with and voting with the what I determine to be the root causes of the problem of why we are here to begin with. So when you say that they are trying to pull a BR from a neutral stance, no, I'm not neutral. I draw a hard line on where I stand. The only thing that's neutral is I'm neutral in terms of having a respectful conversation. That's that's about it. This dude attention whoring at this point, and based on 50 reputation, he's the last one that shit will work on. Yeah. Thanks for pulling me back on topic, Ed. But all right, we about to get in. It's just a little backstory of what's going on here. It says 50 Cent's son Marquise and Choke No Joke go at it about $6,700 in child support being a lot of money. And just for the record, let's pull out the handy calculator. And do 6,700 times 12. That comes up to $80,400 a year. $80,400 a year. That would put her damn near in top 10% earners of Black women. That would put her damn near top 10, top 12% earners when it comes to Black women. Now, what we're going to find out, because I got a lot of things to unearth here. What we're going to find out is that he did more for his son than that $80K. He did. He did more for his son than that $80K. He was paying that $80K a year. He was paying that $80K a year, which is a substantial salary. People going $100,000 of debt just to make $80K a year. Let's not get that twisted. People go into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt just to make $80K a year. And then depending on where they live, they may not even be able to pay off that $100,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. $80K is a lot of money. $80K is a lot of money, and that's what he got paid. That's what his child support was per year. But we're going to find out that he did a lot more for his son than that $80K. We're going to talk about how 50 Cent said his biggest problem, as he could see it, is that he did too much for him. He gave him whatever he want. Oh, and whoever, I don't know if this is where you're going with that, when you say it's more like 130K. Yeah, 80K untaxed is sort of, that's basically 120K, damn near. 80K untaxed is basically like having a 120K job. So yeah, definite top 10% earner. Definite top 10% earner among black. Top 10% earner in this country, really, because people who make a legitimate 120K a year, they end up people who net 80K a year, they make a legitimate 110, 120, somewhere around there. So let that sink in. Let that one sink in. Sorry for that coffee slurp. Almost spilled coffee on my crisp, clean white shirt. Can't be doing that. But all right, let's get into this thing. Let's go. Backstory, they just been going back and forth about, he was saying stuff about the lifestyle. Well, no, I'm just gonna play it. I'll fill in backstory if need be, because I'm not gonna play the whole thing.
Let me talk. Your fucking success ain't yours, nigga. A 13-bedroom house. Does he? Nigga. Hold on, wait. Your child never lived that type of lifestyle, bro. Your father didn't come from no 13 fucking bedroom house, nigga. He was sharing the bedroom. Let me talk, bro. Humble yourself, nigga.
Now y'all are seeing right now why I'm not going to play the whole damn thing, because there was a lot of this. So we got to sift through some of the back and forth arguing that I don't really care to hear, but to get to the information, the necessary information in here. So this was an ignorant ass conversation, but it is some necessary information in here. So let's go.
Let me talk. Your father's success ain't yours, nigga. Let me talk. All right,
exactly my point. So why the fuck? Come on.
Lot of money, nigga.
Brody, listen. It's not my success. And remember, you asked me earlier. I said, why would I be talking about him? I don't talk about him.
No,
I said, well, look all the shit that he accomplished. That's not me. Why the fuck am I talking about him then? Because it makes no sense, nigga. I do not care about that. I do not care how much you love in the club, how much you love giving that time. I love myself. I do not care, bro.
Ain't shit for you because you grew up in a fucking 13-bedroom house. Nigga, I've been in that house. That shit don't mean nothing.
I did not grow up in a 13-bedroom house, one.
Well, anyway, you've been in there. You've been in
grew up in a 13-bedroom house.
He don't even be in that motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different lifestyle. When you're accustomed to different shit, it's different, bro. So you telling me, hold on, I got a question. So you telling me your child should be privy to the same lifestyle as Elon Musk's children?
Listen, brother. One thing, me.
I'm asking you. No. It's my question.
Now, if y'all missed what was going on in the midst of all that nonsense and chaos, notice, because I put son, husband in title. Notice he's talking the way women talk, with that, what you should be accustomed to. Whenever you hear that accustomed to language, that's the language that women use in divorce court when they're with the man that made significantly more than them. When they're arguing about how much they should be able to get, it's not about what's reasonable in them surviving, or I was married to him for this long, so I put off a career, and this was my source of income. I have So they're not talking about, you know, what's necessary for them to be able to survive after an abrupt breakup. No, they'll start talking about what they're accustomed to. You know, I'm accustomed to this lifestyle. I'm accustomed to driving this kind of car. I'm accustomed of living in this type of house. I'm accustomed to having this much money for this much spending money. You know, I'm accustomed to these. And that's how women talk in divorce court. That's the whole language. I remember Chris Rock made an epic joke how women be in divorce court talking about what they're accustomed to. And Chris Rock was like, okay, well, I'm accustomed to fucking her 3 times a week. Now I understand that I can't still do it, but I should be able to get some pussy payments. I should be able to get a weekly hand job or something about it, you know. that was basically the Chris Rock joke. But the fact of the matter is, I just want to highlight that he's talking about what he's accustomed to. That's language that typically comes from a woman.
Question. Answer my question. Do you think they should be living the same lifestyle?
If they living with me, they live in my lifestyle. If they living with their mother, they live in their mother lifestyle. That's the way it goes.
You see, he's talking about the same exact lifestyle, regardless of what parent he's with. Because one parent makes a lot of money. He's talking about should have to live the same exact lifestyle. Now, let's keep in mind, he's no child at this point. Some of it they were talking about the past, but some of this they were talking, right now. Right now, he's 25 years old. Right now, he's 25 years old. Let that sink in. Right now, he is 25 years old. But some of it they're talking about the past. Some of it they're talking about, even right now, what he should be getting. But the argument that takes place in a lot of these custody issues and a lot of this family court stuff, they'll start talking about lifestyle. They try to adjust it or skew it on how much should be paid out per the lifestyle. They want to make it to where if these two people were together, like that's how they, that's how they want to set the pay scale in some of those situations. Like that $6,700 a month, that is more and beyond enough. That is more than enough. And even Choke No Jokes had pointed out that your mom, if he's bringing 67, he said, okay, well, where's your mom's 6,700? Put that together, that's 13,000. But either, basically saying that she's supposed to still be a functioning, thriving adult. Even if she can't make 6,700 a month, hell, if she could be a functioning, thriving adult and make 5,000 a month, 4,500 a month, they're living better than the vast majority of the country. They would have been living better then. But they're complaining about a $6,700, $80,000 a year. That wasn't enough. That's what they're getting at. And he's saying that the lifestyle should stay the same no matter what. Again, that's how women talk about this stuff.
So hold on, wait. So basically, hold on, talking about this is the point. This is the point,
What's
bro.
the point?
This is the point. This is the point, Choke. This is the point. So just because if the child lives with you, they live their lifestyle. If they live the mom, so that means that they should experience 2 different lifestyles when you have the resources to make sure they live a certain lifestyle. You that butthurt.
It ain't
You
about
that mad that mommy got new dick. Hold on, wait, time out. You that upset.
When it's over between me and your mother,
you that butthurt.
It ain't
You
about
that mad that mommy got new dick. Hold on, wait, time out. You
Now,
that upset.
When it's over
again, he said, you that mad that mommy got new dick. Where do you think he's getting that from? Who do you think is inceptioning him with these ideas? That's the mama saying that, the mama who get new dick, probably got new kids over there. Probably, and her argument is essentially 50 Cent need to be taking care of her and all her new kids and perhaps the new man and his biological son over there. And that 6,700 ain't cutting it. But the fallacy in the argument. Okay, here this is where I'm at, and this is what prompted me to say it. I gotta speak on this because the way in which you can tell, that the mom is the one who inceptioned those ideas in him, that he's thinking exactly like a woman, because he is operating in the mindset. He's operating in the mindset just like a baby mama would, that we got to try to milk as much money as we can, before he turns 18. Like that's how the mom thinks. And that's sort of how he thinking. That's why he's talking about that $6,700. But it's like, dude, you are 50 Cent's son. You should be dead. And 50 Cent is a business mogul who will probably be a billionaire by the time he's dead. You're trying to get as much as you can get before you turn 18, and whatever pennies you can get afterwards. Where if you played your cards right and wouldn't being controlled and led by your mama who got you on some son husband shit, you would have been able to potentially inherit it all if you played your cards right in this situation. If you looked at, this is my father, like, I'm rocking with you, forget whatever my mama is talking about. I'm trying to learn at your feet. I want to, okay, I can't travel and go on tour everywhere with you. Okay, cool. It don't matter. I want to live. If you at this house 5 months out the year, I want to be there with you. I want to be learning with you. I want to be doing whatever I can to basically get be a part of what you are. I'm your goddamn son. I'm your goddamn son. I want to learn all all the business moves, everything that 50 Cent doing. Like, man, like, school me, educate me, like, let me learn. Let me learn. And that's what I was thinking when I first saw this. That's what I was thinking when I first saw this. Like, why is he looking at this from, not from a legacy, this is my father's standpoint, and forget whatever my mama talking about, forget trying to siphon whatever little bit I can, when I can learn at my father's feet and inherit it all. Instead of him thinking, I don't know, like a man, he's sitting there trying to squeeze whatever drop he could, like a woman who used to fuck him back in the 90s. That's how he's acting. He's acting no different than just the chick, the baby mama that used to fuck him in the 90s. They was together from 94 to 98. If you know the timeline, 50 Cent blew up early 2000s, maybe 2003. Shout out to Ike in the chat, says F them kids. Yeah, and 50 Cent did get to the point where he was like, F. He was like, F them. Now, that was my suspicion. Like, I'm like, why is he not trying to capitalize off 50 Cent being his father in the long-term way? But he's acting just like the woman who just, who got 50 Cent's seed back in 97. Why is he acting like that? So the obvious reason is that he, being manipulated, by the mom. He's not thinking like a man. A man would think legacy with this shit. Now, here's the bigger and important part here, because shout out to F Holiday. He says, "Oh God, it's like watching 50 Cent in a in a parallel universe where he turned out to be a bitch." Yeah. Shout out to you. And hold on real quick. He says, "I guess he forgot his mother is the one that got child support reduced. He was paying $25K a month." You saying, I guess he forgot his mother is the one that got child support reduced. You saying his mother? See, I don't know nothing about that story. I don't know nothing about that story. The research I did, I know 50 Cent went and put himself on child support because he didn't want to just be taking care of his son, and then she show up when the kid's 16 and say he ain't done nothing for him, and then he got to pay it all lump sum at one time. So he just went and put himself on child support so he can pay it gradually, but he was still doing for him. There, I said in the building, he says, excellent point. Marquise is better positioned than mama. Plus, he is a spitting image of 50 Cent. Yeah. And see, and here's the thing. Here's the thing more importantly than that. Hold on. Check the private chat. Man, check that private chat. Here's the more important thing here. Here's the more important thing here. 50 Cent said, and I'm pretty sure this was an excerpt from 50 Cent's book. I'll probably play it just so y'all can hear. But I'll explain it. I may play it later. Here's the deal. 50 Cent was talking about how, his son was a sneakerhead and he used to, buy him Jordans all the time, or whatever the freshest kicks was, he used to buy him all the time. They just keep him in shoes on top of shoes on top of shoes on top of shoes, just all day, every day. Used to just keep him in shoes, the nicest shoes. And 50 Cent said one day he was riding by a place. And this is how you know that my whole theory about if he played his cards right and positioned himself properly, that he would be in line to inherit it all versus arguing about whether or not $6,700 wasn't enough. This is how you know he would be in line to inherit it all if he played his cards right. 50 Cent was riding by, and I don't know exactly how old his son was. Let's call his son 17 Cent. I don't know how old 17 Cent was when this happened, but 50 Cent said he was riding by a shoe store that was about to close down. There was still hundreds of shoes in there. 50 Cent went in there and was like, hey, why are you closing down? And the guy said, I picked a bad location. I don't get enough foot traffic. And then 50 Cent was like, my son has a serious passion for sneakers. He's a sneakerhead. He got a serious passion for sneakers. So he was like, I'll buy all your shoes you got in here at cost. He did that. He bought all that business that was closing down. 50 Cent bought all the shoes at cost. Hundreds of shoes. Had hundreds of shoes. Called up his son. Called up his son like, hey, I know you love tennis shoes. I got this idea for you. I just bought hundreds of shoes from this shoe store that was closing down. You can set it up. You can sell these shoes online. And then that way you can make your own money to support your own tennis shoe, sneaker habit. You can make your own money to do that. And you could be in business for yourself, in a business and something that you're personally passionate about. He was trying to set his son up good. Like, who gets to start a business with, thousands upon thousands of dollars of free inventory? Who gets to do that? And keep in mind, this was before, buying sneakers online became like a big deal. Because 50 Cent had asked the dude, how much do you buy the shoes for? The guy was like, I buy them for 40, sell them for 80. Buying shoes online wasn't, at that time, it wasn't the big business that it is now. Right now, there are companies that's made millions and billions just selling shoes online. It was like right before that boom really happened. Like 50 Cent was literally trying to set him up. Like, look, you could do this yourself. You could, you could run it. He basically, they went over a lot of stuff on how it could work. And then, 50 Cent went off doing his thing, doing his shows, making his music, movies, or whatever the fuck he was doing. He said 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks went by, didn't really hear nothing about it. Then a couple months went by. Then when he started talking to him about it, it was still kind of shaky. And then he found out that that the mom wanted to move in on it, kind of, instead of doing like an online store, which was about to boom and take off, she was trying to do the same shit that the person who they bought the shoes from, that the guy that 50 Cent bought the shoes from, who had a failing business, he was trying to do something similar to that. Basically make a clothing store and just sell his shoes in it. Keep in mind, I've had a clothing store that sold some shoes in it. If you don't get enough through traffic, people walking in there, it's not going to stay in business long. Online is the way to go. He was trying to steer his son in that direction, but then the mom, per 50 Cent story, I think he wrote it in his book, because I found an audio clip and it looked like it sounded like an audio book. Somebody put like a 10-minute excerpt from the audio book. And so essentially 50 Cent, the baby mama, shout out to Mr. Palmer, the baby mama terrorist, basically was on some trying to commandeer it or make a clothing store out of it, but sell the shoes in there. And they were trying to do something like that. And then 50 Cent was like, no, I want him to be a man and do it himself. I want, he literally said, his mama was trying to keep him a boy longer by doing that. because it'll essentially be her store, and she would be damn near his employee. You know, he was trying to keep her. He was trying to keep. She was trying to keep him a boy longer. 50 Cent was trying to coach him into manhood, and if he would have got in on that before that boom really happened, where you got 50 Cent's money, and I don't know. It's hard to tell with celebrities whether or not they got actual good business acumen or whether they just got a good team behind them. Either way it go, between their money and their team, it's no question that this boy would have been successful at this. No question, with 50 Cent's money behind you, starting off with, thousands of dollars of free inventory, it's no question that he would have been successful at this. Like he gave him a layup. Like he threw him an alley oop on a 6 foot tall basketball rim. He threw him an alley oop on a 6 foot tall basketball rim, and he didn't dunk it. And so, I'm saying all of that to say that if this boy would have played his cards right, he wouldn't be complaining about whether or not 6,700 wasn't enough in the lifestyle that he's accustomed to, and whether or not he should still be getting something because I'm his son and I'm this and I'm that. No, you sided with your mom against your father. Your mom, who was doing all kind of, doing all kind of, you could have sided with your father. I'll just say that, because I don't even want to get into details about everything with the bomb, because I don't really know, but I can tell. I know these type of situations, but I don't, got all the facts on that. So I'll just leave it. I'll leave it alone. But the fact of the matter is, had he followed his father, he would not only have his own sources. He not only would have been potentially independently rich, but from that business, it would extrapolate into other stuff that 50 Cent is going to be backing you on, is going to be down with you on. So we're talking about a man who tried to do a lot for his son, but his son turned on him in a multitude of ways. And most of it was because that damn mama was in his ear on a bunch of bullshit. And you could hear it in this video that she was in his ear on a bunch of bullshit.
Between me and your mother, wherever she go on and live on and do on. And I don't even think your parents was married. Like it don't work out, it don't work out. But that don't mean that she got cool, to live. And that's got to live.
That's fine. That's
because
fine.
I forgot a baby.
What point do you say? Oh, I got a question. All right, so with you, your child's supposed to be wearing Louis Vuitton, but with the mom, get that nigga some Skechers. That's basically what you're saying.
That makes no damn sense. I buy my son some nice shoes. I don't hold the shoes hostage when he go back to his mom's house. I don't hold the shoes hostage when he go back to his mom. He gets to wear them to his mom's house. If I buy him an outfit, I don't hold it hostage. He could still wear that same outfit to his mom's house. He could take clothes back and forth from each house. Like, what is he talking about? Like, that's not a thing. Now, some parents are petty like that. Normally the woman. She buy him some nice stuff. Like, you don't take that to your daddy house. I don't want you walking around looking nice with him in something that I bought and people think he got it for you. It'd be women that be petty like that. But typically, if the dad buys some stuff for his son, it's going to travel to the mom house. It's going to all the stuff travel. It was a time when it was an Xbox at my house and at my son's mom's house, but before that, the goddamn gaming systems travel. The gaming systems travel. The PS4 or PS5 or Xbox One, even though it's a new series of Xbox S Series X. I barely keep up. My son got it, but I don't even keep up no more. But yeah, that stuff travels from house to house. Like, damn. Like, that is a bad argument that it comes from his mama.
You okay with that?
What are you talking about?
Are you okay with that?
Am I okay with what?
I said, are you okay with that? If your child,
Your child lives with you, they can wear Louis Vuitton, but when they go back to mommy, they gotta wear.
If mommy buying you
You'll be
Louis
okay
Vuitton?
with that? My mom bought me the same exact things that I have my pops. But I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. Would you be okay with your child wearing Louis Vuitton with you and Skechers when they go back to your mom?
That's what
Would you
the
be okay
mother
with that?
choose for them to wear. I'm not into the materialistic shit. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my! I'm not. Listen.
I don't care how
you got.
It's simple as the
between you and your son, because a lot of people from the outside, the boy looked just like you. That's they a lot of people from the outside think that situation.
This one, I wasn't even trying to play this one, but this was from a while ago. It says 56 explains why he can never forgive his oldest son. He says success cost me my firstborn. I wasn't even trying to play this, but we might as well.
It's sad, man. The child can't come. Yeah, it is sad. It's a sad situation, right? And when you pray for success, you don't necessarily pray for the things that come.
Now, 50 Cent and his son look exactly alike, but after hearing the pitch and tone of his son's voice and then hearing 50 Cent's voice, it's like, goddamn, the genetics just skipped the voice and hit everything else. But damn.
Right? And there's no such thing as success without jealousy, without envy, or entitlement. Entitlement is growing in someone you love in the scariest part, right? And his mom developed the entitlement that cannot be met. Filtering that energy through his actual personal interests. Let's say now that he's starting to like females, he's conscious of what kind of shoes he want to wear. I need these Jordans, the retro Jordans is coming, different things. And then his mother go, all right, I'll get them for you, but it just bothers me because you're supposed to have them all. So while being a privileged child, he feels deprived. When you had everything I didn't have. I can tell you how much my kids cost. In New York State, 1.360. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have an issue with paying the support fund. The reason why I'm the way I am with those kind of situations, I pay my support that year that the baby's born. Move the money to the account, let it, and it automatically disperses a certain amount of money per each.
The main thing, if y'all didn't fully catch what he said, because I got caught up listening to it, the main thing is that he said that he's he's privileged, but he's acting deprived because he's not getting everything. Yes, I got a lot of nice shoes, a lot of nice Jordans, but I should have them all. I should have them all in every color. I just told y'all the story on how 50 Cent tried to help him in a man kind of way solve that problem. This is how you could support your own sneaker habit, by getting in the sneaker business. And he bought him, he went to a shoe store that was closing and bought all the inventory and tried to set it up for his son to sell the sneakers online. That way he can make money, have his own, possibly grow some independent wealth. Was seeing as he had starting off with an endless supply of inventory, starting off with an endless supply of inventory, he could support his own habit and restock and do the whole thing. He could sell it, restock it, and get high off his own supply. Like, that was a perfect situation 50 Cent tried to set him up with. But again, he's suffering from that spoiled kid with a rich dad problem, to where he didn't want to try to earn nothing himself.
Come on. So,
and by the way, I do want to say, I hate when rich parents do pull the "no, my son gonna have to do it the hard way" type of stuff. No, you want them to be successful and do it themselves and be a man and have a backbone and build their own shit. But goddamn, you don't let them go work at Walmart, which 50 Cent didn't do. He said, no, you're going to be your own business. He tried to set him up to have his own business. Tried to set him up young with his own business. And he didn't do it. And he let the mom kind of try to take it over.
I noticed over the years, like, it developed, because I blamed on his mom for a long time. But it's not his mother, it's him. Like, I've gone places where he was at, he left.
Fifth, you love your son?
I used to.
You ask yourself how long. A complicated question would say, "How long can you love something that don't love you back?"
That's hard right there. That one is hard right there. Yeah, so do you love your son? He said, I used to. How long can you love? Ask yourself the question. The harder question is, how long can you love something that don't love you back? That one is tough. That one is tough.
You see, so in this experience, you look and you say, I didn't think success would cost me my firstborn, but it's the situation. It's like my grandfather would say, if rather like a snake, if it's slither like a snake, is it a snake or do you need to be bit? Right? And that's the Aiken, South Carolina, and this the country, she'll say. And what he keeps saying is every time you see the boy, he's show up with somebody you got a problem with. What does that take? People will always try to make relationships on a common bond of disliking someone. Like, be friends with you because your enemy is my enemy.
Yeah.
And he sees himself that way. To the extent where he's actually taking pictures with Preem's son or doing different things that, and you go, well, I'm like, I don't even understand where your motivation comes from with these things, but.
Preem's son, I don't know that much about this story. I had to research this. That was supposedly, allegedly, the person who shot 50 Cent or tried to shoot him or was trying to kill him or something like that. And now his son was taking pictures with that guy's son. It's like his son was on that kind of shit. Like, so that's part of why that, that I don't love him no more type of thing is going on.
Can you excuse any of that because of how young he is?
No, he's 23 years old, 24 years old. It's not a baby no more. It's a grown man. See, I look at you as you grown, the decisions that you make as you start to pass what they would have did to us. They would have charged me like an adult at 15. So at 23, it's like you grown in my head. My homeboys, they had their babies at 15. At that point in the neighborhood, that was when you actually got into, was the point you want to have, these things don't turn out the way you want.
A relationship again.
It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And
what would have to happen for you guys to have a relationship again? That's the last question I'll ask about it.
I don't know. I ran into him one time. This is ill, right? Right after, it was 2 months before his support was finished, right? And at the time, he's standing at the desk talking to the jeweler, and he had a small diamond chain, 2 small diamond chains, trying to get a bigger diamond chain, right? Trading them, see how much you can get that one. And I walked in, he goes, "Oh, you got somebody like watching me?" I said, "Nah." He said, "Oh, so coincidence?" He said, "Yeah, coincidence." Then he turned back to the jeweler, he goes back to talking to the jeweler, and he's like, nah, I can't do that. Now I'm like, because of how much the jeweler's asking him for. So he can't do it. Move. Negotiating, putting 2 small diamond chains back to get a bigger diamond chain with the money I'm mailing him. His mother never had a job. She didn't do nothing.
So this even at 23 and 24, he was still mailing him money. Still mailing him money at 23 and 24, even though, the relationship was strained. You got to keep all that in mind because it's a clip of the mom talking where she tried to shit on him like he wasn't doing nothing.
I would have questioned whether I was wrong if she did something after the fact. She genuinely did not want to do nothing. This girl looked in my face and told me, like, she was like, "You bought Mike Tyson's house?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "So why you ain't tell me this?"
Oh, wait, no, I think because if he was in school, the child support was still continuing during that time. I think per the law, I think he would have been able to get child support all the way up into, I don't know where the cutoff age was. But if he was in college, if they're in college, it continues. So it would never keep that going to about 22, 23 maybe. So that's why he said maybe 2 months before it was all about to cut off, he would understand. That's why he's saying he'll understand him trying to, trade the chains out, trying to swap the 2 little chains for a bigger chain. But he's like, why are you doing that? If with all the money that I'm sending you, you should be able to just buy it. He said he would understand he said he would understand if it was after all the support ended. But even with it, he's still, trying to do that. But anyway. Couldn't you saying the mom don't work? So I guess the assumption there is that the mom is at that point, handling all the money.
I said, because you ain't moving that. Well, I would have had to leave them in Mike Tyson's house. Like Mike left is the old lady in them there when I got it. You see what I'm saying? So, because they would have said he's accustomed to this lifestyle and this is what he would have, it would have changed the whole scenario. So when I said, nah, you got to go, you're going to get a place over here. I gave her the same money that I gave my grandmother to buy my grandmother's house, for her to pick out a house and buy her house. And you go there until you figure out what you want to do. You don't want to do nothing. You're not coming with me stand like that. She was like, you did it already. Don't nobody work without have to work. You already did it. Mm-hmm. Feeling like the records you already sold. If I was thinking like that, that's who I was. Yeah, they've been over. Damn. Because if you think about it.
Yeah, so basically, still taking care of her. He said he had bought her got her a house. So I'm gonna get you a house. You go live over here while you figure out what you're gonna do. When she's on some, I ain't got to do nothing. You already did it. You already worked. You already made the money. We good. We don't work over here. We don't work over here. That's essentially what was going on. And the saddest part for me with this is that the son don't even see what's staring him in the face. The opportunity that's staring him in the face. He's looking at it no different from the Strag mama. He's not seeing it in terms of not seeing this thing in terms of legacy. Not seeing this thing. I hate to black people, we overuse that term legacy, but this is a situation where it's really there. You're his firstborn son. He tried to help you start a business. He tried to help you start a business. He tried to get the ball rolling for your life. He tried to do all of that. But his son was just acting too much like his mom. Sir Tyson in the building says, a sincere shout out to Fifth for excommunicating the ungrateful POS. Okay, I don't know what FIF is. I apologize. I know I don't be up on, short abbreviations and that. For the POS. Okay. When he took that pic with McGriff's kid, he should have took his name also. This this baseless voice punk is the epitome of a son husband. Yeah. KG in the building says Satan attempts to turn God's children against him. Single mothers who do the same are no different. Their suffering is called reaping. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody in the building. Appreciate everybody who's supporting the stream thus far. Bruh. That's what FIF mean. Fifth equals 50 cent. If you ran out of characters, you could have just said 50 and I would have got it. A sincere shout out to 50. If I saw 50 right there, I would have said a sincere shout out to 50. You had enough characters to put 50 and a cent sign. You could have you could have put 50 and a cent sign. There's no cent sign over here on my you could have put 50 in the cent sign and I would have got it. Or you could have just went with 50. But to just put fifth, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You could have made that work. You definitely could have made that work. You said 50 is often called fifth. I was unaware. You could have made that work. Says the mom is in a perfect situation. All these chicks talk about. She had 18 years to She had 18 years to rest in her femininity. I did a show on that yesterday. It's on Patreon. And speaking of Patreon, shout out to Jay Live, who became a Patreon yesterday. Shout out to Jay Live. But he says she had 18 years of rest in her femininity, and this is what you get. Again, all that is bullshit and always has been. Yeah. Yeah, she had 18 years of rest in her femininity, but her son, who's that's the part that's just burning me up, that he's thinking no different than a woman. That we should live a certain lifestyle or be accustomed to living like this or that, instead of looking at it in terms of this is my father. I'm going to be on his side on everything. My father is the successful and rich one. My father is the one who tried to set me up with a business. My father is the one who did this. I'm going to rock with my father and get and try to learn everything I can from him. Try to learn everything I can from him. Try to any business, teaching, tutelage. I'm going to try to learn at his feet, because at the end of the day, I'm not worrying about how much we could siphon off from an 18-year period of time. That's how the Strag think. You're a man. You should be thinking on positioning yourself to be as his firstborn son, to be in a place to inherit all of it when all is said and done. Like that's how he was supposed to be thinking. And his mind was nowhere in that realm. Nowhere in that realm. Let me hold on real quick. Shout out to everybody supporting the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming on through. Let me get a few more things on the table here. Hold on. A few more things on the table here to set things up. Now this is where the mom spoke. All right. This is an interesting one. This is an interesting one here.
Hold on, wait, Bob. Why do you think that till this day, I collect child support till this day? I'm 25 years old.
I just argued with somebody about that. I said, this nigga grown. There's no child support. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo,
nigga
I've
in my
even heard of that, bro.
Nigga in my DM said he get 80K a month. I mean, 80K a year. That nigga crazy. I said, yo, bro, that nigga don't get no child support. What are you talking about? This is what I'm saying. People just listen to shit and run with it, bro.
Because they retarded.
All right. So, I mean, obviously, you ain't going to get child support through 25. I think it was a possibility. We want to hear her trying to explain and break it down that child support continue after a certain point or whatever. When I think he goes and stays if he's in college. I don't know if he actually got in college and stayed in college. I don't know if they did that. We kind of low key about to find out. But the fact of the matter is 50 Cent gave him every opportunity to benefit from being his dad, but he turned on him due to the teaching and tutelage of his mom, who's down here.
Hold on, wait. Time out. Why people think I get child support at the age of 25? But Mom, what was my option to receive child support to this age?
You would have to go to college, continue your education.
So if I went to college and flunked out 4 years, I would still be getting a check right now.
And he was fighting me on that. That's the only time I took him to court was for college tuition. Not no cars, not no close tuition. The nigga didn't want to pay tuition. Education.
Now, again, was interesting with that. Is that he was already, when he was paying the child support, he's already doing a lot for him and buying him whatever he wanted, giving him whatever he wanted, and tried to set him up with a business. So at that moment, so right now, that sounds like a lie because he was already doing for him. So if he was like on some cut him off shit, he probably was on, cut him off mode by then. He probably was already on cut him off mode. That was he probably was on that mode after, that video that we just saw, but we'll go further because I'm just going to play a excerpt from his book that's going to, make it all tie together.
What are we talking about? Talking about a
Hold on, wait.
Now, right there, and this is where the shit get wild, because if normally men don't respond, don't put their side of it out there, and normally when the woman says some shit like that, that's the story, you know. That's the story that people go with. That's the story that people go with normally when you hear stuff like that, because typically, historically, men have not put their side out there. Even before social media, you'll see women, you'll see wives and scorned ex-wives, they get to go sit down on Oprah's couch and tell their side of the story. They get to be on daytime TV, on Dateline, on damn near on Larry King, airing out airing out what the husband did. And that's the only side we would hear before. But now men are talking, and now we are hearing the other side. So we're gonna dig into what that other side was. We already saw a portion of it. But before I even further lay out and make my case, I do want to get a couple, or just one more thing on the table. One more thing on the table here. Now, I think this is, other than his first part at the beginning of the video, this is overall, I believe, an excerpt from his book.
Sometimes when you've been hurt a lot and you've done your share of the hurting too, it feels best to walk away. I can't.
$1 billion nigga. I'm a $1 billion nigga. My son gonna be $1 billion nigga.
Sometimes when you've been hurt a lot and you've done your share of the hurting too, it feels best to walk away. I came extremely close not long ago, after I unexpectedly bumped into Marquise in my jeweler's store in Manhattan. I didn't even know he was in the city at the time, so I was shocked to see him. I tried to start a conversation, but he immediately accused me of having him followed. I told him that was crazy, but things only went downhill from there. The energy between us was terrible. Marquise even said, "What, I'm supposed to be afraid of you?" That really messed my head up. This was my firstborn son, my own flesh and blood, and we couldn't even speak to each other, let alone hug and laugh at an unexpected encounter. Finally, without a word, Marquise basically fled the store, leaving me dumbfounded. A couple of my guys went down to the street and tried to catch up with Marquise and say, "Why are you bugging? This is your father. Come talk to him." But Marquise had already disappeared. He didn't want to be found.
Oh, and shout out to, real quick, because this is a smaller channel, I think, that put this together. The person who put this together only got, maybe he stole it from somewhere else, or he created it. Either way it go, this is called In the Know 2.0, Fair Use, Fair Use. It only has 2.8K subs, but if he created this, he for damn sure did some good work. Editing this and putting it together. So since I'm still in his shit, I had to properly shout him out. But he probably stole it from somebody else too. But if he made this all himself, I got to give him a proper shout out.
I couldn't even follow them into the street. My mind was fuzzy and I couldn't think straight. I had to take several minutes to compose myself. Entitlement creates resentment. There have been a lot of disappointing moments in my relationship with Marquise over the past few years. But the lowest was when I saw him post a picture of himself with Kyle McGriff, the son of Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Without rehashing too much bad history, Kenneth McGriff was one of the biggest drug dealers in Queens, and the man the authorities believe was behind the attempt on my life. So by posing with his son, Marquise was basically co-signing the individual who might have tried to have his father killed. I had known Marquise resented me for a while, but I never imagined he would hate me so much that he'd allow himself to be used as a prop by my enemy. Someone recently sent me a quote from Benjamin Franklin that really resonated with me.
That's the part when the previous clip that I showed when 50 was like, "Nah, I don't love him no more." How long can you love somebody that don't love you back? That's where that's at. The son only is operating like that if the mom has turned him against him. Like this can't get. We're going to actually hear 50 Cent explaining his own words in this clip, but he literally, aside from the $6,700 a month in child support, he literally was buying him stuff regularly all the time, all day, every day, and literally bought him a business that he didn't capitalize on. So why is he resenting him? Because the mother has put it in his head that he hasn't done enough.
Son had sided with the British in the Revolutionary War, despite the fact that his father was one of the leaders of the revolution. It messed with Ben Franklin for the rest of his life. He wrote, "Nothing has ever hurt me so much and affected me with such keen sensation as to find myself deserted in my old age by my only son, and not only deserted, but to find him taking up arms against me, and a cause wherein my good fame, fortune, and life were all at stake." Marquise might not have been literally taking up arms against me, but he was standing next to the son of someone who might have. I could recognize Franklin's pain. I spent a lot of time searching my soul, trying to understand what can make a son forsake his father like that. I've tried to put myself in Marquise's shoes. Just as he doesn't know what it's like to grow up under the circumstances I did, I don't know what it was like to grow up as the son of 50 Cent. Certainly on the surface, he had everything he wanted. But there must have been pressures and insecurities from being my son that I can't identify with. I accept that. I still can't see how those pressures and insecurities would force a child to go against his own father, especially a father who has provided everything for him.
The mother does that. The mother is the forces that makes him go against his own father. She's mad because she didn't get enough money from you.
I go over our relationship in my mind, who has provided everything for him. As I go over our relationship in my, especially a father who has provided everything for him. As I go over our relationship in my mind, the only answer that I can come up with is that I actually might have done too much for Marquise. How do you make a privileged child feel deprived or angry? I guess by getting him whatever he wants. Like many kids from his generation, Marquise has always been into sneakers. Because he's my son, he couldn't just rock any old sneakers either. If a new pair of Jordans came out, he had to have them right away. If Marquise asked for a pair of Jordans on Monday, his mother would make sure they were on his feet by Tuesday. It still didn't make him happy. Instead of being excited to rock his new pair of Jordans, all Marquise could think about was all of the retro Jordans he didn't have, all the different flyaways and colors that weren't in his closet. When he should have felt gratification, all he really felt was disappointment. I could not relate. The kid didn't have a job, but somehow wanted to collect $300 sneakers, and then still felt unhappy when he actually got them? His entire mindset was alien to me. I have to believe his mother was behind his disappointment. He thought he could have every sneaker ever made, even though he hadn't actually earned any of them. "He's not regular," she would tell me when I asked why he needed another new pair. "He's your son." She had already established the pattern that you didn't have to work for something to get it. Marquise was just following her lead. I didn't want that sense of entitlement to become a core part of who he was. I was determined to help him learn that he would actually be much happier.
And that was that was the main part right there. I was reading the chat, almost missed it, but that was the main part right there when he was basically saying that he was following her lead. He was following the mother's lead. Like I said, the whole thing in this is him being short-sighted and not realizing what he had as a father, and just having that I got to get as much as I can before I turn 18 attitude that the mom had, instead of thinking long term. If I'm side by side with my father who's doing everything for me, then it's not about getting what I want before I turn, and getting everything I can before I turn 18 or before I get cut off. No, if you do it right, you can inherit it all, which I do believe will possibly be $1 billion net worth by the time 50 Cent died.
He was just following her lead. I didn't want that sense of entitlement to become a core part of who he was. I was determined to help him learn that he would actually be much happier when he worked for the things he wanted, that their value would increase exponentially. One day I was driving through Harlem when I noticed that a sneaker store was going out of business on 125th Street. My mind immediately flashed to my son. Marquise loves sneakers, so I pulled over to see if I can grab him a couple of pairs on the cheap. Being naturally inquisitive, I asked the owner why he was going out of business if sneakers were so hot. He explained that he picked the wrong location and never got enough foot traffic to make it work. My mind started clicking. Say, how much do you pay for a pair of Air Force Ones, I asked. About $40, he told me. And how much you sell them for? About $80. That seemed like a pretty solid profit margin to me. What are you going to do with all these Air Forces now? I asked. I don't know, he said. Probably just stash them in my basement till I figure out my next move. I tell you what, I told him. I'm going to buy the rest of the inventory from you right now at cost. The guy jumped at my offer. Suddenly, I was the new owner of a couple hundred pairs of Nikes. I hatched a plan. Marquise was in Atlanta, where I knew storage space was cheap. I would ship the sneakers down to him, where he could put them in a warehouse. Instead of opening up a brick and mortar shop, which would have taken a lot of investment and depended on foot traffic, he could set up an internet site selling sneakers, what is referred to as direct-to-consumer sales. All it would require would be for him to run the site and maybe hire a friend to manage the warehouse side of things. The idea felt like a winner. As soon as I left the shop, I called up my son. Yo, Marquise, you know how you always been fascinated with shoes? I asked. Well, I just figured out a way you can afford them yourself and start to earn a little money of your own too. I broke down the whole plan for him. I explained how it was a great opportunity that would not only support his passion, but allow him to get a nuts and bolts understanding of how business works. This is a layup, I told him. Not too many stores get to start off with free inventory. You could really do something with this. If you're truly passionate about sneakers, this is the time to show it. Marquise said all the right things on the phone, how excited he was and how it sounded like a great opportunity. So I had the shoes shipped down to Atlanta. Then I never heard from him about it again. Weeks and months passed. Finally, one day, his mother called me and announced that she and Marquise been talking. Instead of an online sneaker store, they wanted to open a clothing boutique in Atlanta. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The plan I envisioned didn't include her. I wanted our son to learn how to be responsible for himself. By injecting herself into the mix, she was just trying to keep him a boy a little longer. I still wanted Marquise to get some experience, so I said, sure, let me know when you guys want to do something. But of course, their boutique never went anywhere. And the online sneaker shop didn't either.
There it is right there. There it is right there. He set him up with the perfect situation and she moved in on it. She moved in on it and tried to make it a boutique in Atlanta. A boutique in Atlanta in most places. Listen, in most cases, a boutique is going to sell mostly women's clothes. She was basically trying to make it benefit her in a way to where she would basically commandeer it. Self-aggrandize herself and be like the owner of some nice boutique in Atlanta. That's how she wanted to do it. She didn't want her son to independently grow his own shit and build his own wealth. And she didn't want that. She got in the way of that. And he had him with a perfect situation. Where you're going to be selling shoes online. You're passionate about shoes. You don't care about no boutiques. No, having some little boutique where they selling, you go to those little boutiques. Yeah, I mean, they got some shoes over there, but they also selling, purses and dresses and all kind of stuff for women, and then a couple, t-shirts and little stuff for men. No, that's making it a brick and mortar. Even 50 Cent, who was rich, knew and understood having a whole brick and mortar business can be expensive, even though I do know the way to do it cheap. You don't buy the business, you just pay first month rent and security deposit, and then just throw your shit in there and put up an open sign. I've done that before. But either way it go, you potentially paying a lot of money. And the way Bernard say boutique, yeah, that's how you say boutique. That's what it's called, a boutique. But typically, the way people do it, they buy the location. They normally end up spending hundreds of $1,000s up front. They normally end up spending hundreds of $1,000s, not up front, but getting a loan. But in 50 Cent's case, it would be $100,000. He would have to buy a location. I don't know if they were going to buy a location. I don't take her to be somebody who had good credit. So So either way it go, whether it was taking out a loan, buying a location, basically it just put a whole lot of red tape in front of it, where he basically gave him just nothing but green flags. Nothing but green flags. Set it up online, sell online. Easy. Done deal. Learn it, grow it by yourself. Become a man. All right, I put in the thumbnail, son husband, because she's on some son husband shit. She trying to commandeer it. She's not trying to let her boy grow up. She's not trying to let the dad give him something separate and apart from her. Because that child support that comes through, okay, that child support, that's her shit. that's her shit. He giving him something to where he can grow it, he can move out and grow this and take care of himself. And then she's cut off the spigot after he aged out of the child support. And now he got his own separate money, his own separate thing that don't got nothing to do with her. She didn't want to let that happen. Now, it's possible, given the temperament of his son, like you say, they couldn't see his vision. It's possible, given the temperament of his son, that he probably couldn't see it, but I think the son probably could see it. I think it was more so the mom didn't want that vision to take place, because that was a vision that didn't include her. That was a vision where your son, who was either grown or soon to be grown, would be separate and apart, making money separate and apart from you. And then when the child support in and the money that he has coming in is his own generated money, then you're just left there with no job, no child support, no nothing, and a son who's moved on doing his own thing. She tried to slow that process, or tried to figure out how to include herself in that process by getting a boutique and those things. Listen, this space right here, depending on where you're at, if you're paying $1,500 a month for this amount of space, y'all can see that, right? Yeah. If you're paying $1,500 a month for this amount of space, you got a good deal. This amount of space, depending on where you're at, could be anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000, $5,000. You got to move product. You got to move product to have this type of brick and mortar business. You got to move product. And that product not moving right, even if you move a lot of product, after all expenses, and you got to have employees sitting in there collecting minimum wage, all of that's going to add up to where you basically just going to be trading, just exchanging money for shoes and breaking even and making just enough money to restock and do it again. Trust me, I know. That's how that shit go. That's how that shit go. That's how that shit go. They had the right idea. 50 Cent had the right idea. You said that $1,500 is super cheap. No, well, I mean, for that much space, yeah, but in my hometown, yeah, rent is hella cheap. It is.
My issue with Marquise wasn't that he wanted all those sneakers. When I was a kid, I wanted sneakers too. The difference is that I was willing, make that determined, to do the work necessary to obtain them. I wouldn't for a second want Marquise to have to resort to the type of work I put in to get my kicks. At the time, I perceived selling drugs as the only viable option in my environment, so I pursued it. Marquise has so many more options in front of him than I ever had. I just needed to see him pick one and put in the work.
And shout out to car designer Chris. Y'all support the stream. Make it ring during the stream. Appreciate everybody who support the stream. Car designer Chris in the building says all he had to do was flip the first batch of shoes, show how he doubled the money. 50 would have been impressed. Yeah. He threw him an alley-oop on a 6-foot rim. And he didn't dunk or lay it up.
Sure, Marquise never following up on the sneakers might seem like a small thing. The type of irresponsibility and lack of initiative teenagers and young adults display all the time. But it was a huge disappointment to me. Forget about being able to afford his personal sneaker collection. That online store could have ended up making us both a killing. We had that conversation years ago. Since then, online sneaker sites have become incredibly lucrative. GOAT.com is valued at $550 million, while StockX.com has a $1 billion valuation. If Marquise had followed through on what we talked about, he could have been included in that conversation. He could be independently rich. Shit, he might be in a position to tell me to go fuck myself and my money if that's what he wanted to do. I'm sure when Marquise reads about GOAT or StockX, deep down he probably realizes I was right. Maybe he says, why did I not listen to my father and start that fucking online shop? Or maybe he can't bring himself to say that.
Yeah. Excellent work, whoever I siphoned this from, who stole that clip from 50 Cent's audio book. That was right in line with what I was talking about today. So shout out to whoever did this. This is a channel with like 2.8K subs, barely 3,000 subs, but definitely good work that really summed up and crystallized everything that I was talking about here. How normally at the root of things, because we can look at this and say, like, even with a dad who, I mean, by all means is like, if 50 you grow up and 50 Cent is your dad, you got the coolest dad on earth. He's successful, he's rich, he's a celebrity, he's an entertainer, and he's a business mogul who literally invested in you. But even with all of that, a mom being in the ear of a young man, that impressionable mind could make him turn, could make him flip, could make him not see what he has as a father. I always talk about D, and it's even I can never stop telling the story of D Wade, how his father, his mom who did crack in front of him, after she got arrested, locked up for it. Sometime I think his sister dropped him off at his dad's house when he was about 8 or 9 or whatever. Dad raised him, had 4 older brothers. They taught him how to play basketball. He's in the NBA because his dad and his brothers, being raised by his dad. But his dad had some problems. I think it was some issues with him, with his dad and his wife. I think some domestic violence. I'm not really sure. I don't really remember, but it was some issues there. And he moved out because it was, turning into a toxic environment. So his senior year in high school, he moved out and lived with his girlfriend, who he had got pregnant. He lived at his girlfriend and the girlfriend's mama house. Now, him and his dad fell out and didn't really talk after that. So he went on to Marquette, made junior year in college, in the Final Four. That was when his mom finally saw him play basketball for the first time. She had got out of jail and she saw him play basketball for the first. She had been in and out of jail, so she was available to see him play, but she was in and out of jail and never really got to see him play. Could have saw him play, but didn't see him play. However, when he got drafted after his junior year, right there in the NBA draft, when they said with the not third, it was LeBron, Darko Milicic, Melo, Chris Bosh, then D Wade. They dropped the ball. I can understand them picking Melo over D Wade at the time, but Bosh and Darko, anyway. It's like with the 5th pick of the NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Dwayne Wade. And the mom was right there. Dad wasn't. And I said it before, I say it again. That mom got that hug and a kiss on draft day that washes away all the sins. The mom who smoked crack in front of him, who had never saw him play basketball until his into his last 2 games in college. The dad who taught him how to play basketball, he didn't talk to his dad and rekindle his relationship with his dad until he got old and had some kids, until he was damn near 30 and was going through baby mama drama. That was when he finally, called his dad and was like, you know what? You wouldn't so bad. You know, I thought you were bad. I thought you were the problem. Now that I've lived life and I've experienced this, now that I'm sitting here, you know, I'm in the NBA finals. I'm trying to pick my son up from the airport, and then he's not there at the airport, and I'm calling the mom and she not answering, and now I got to go play the biggest game of my life, and I don't even know where my kid's at because she being petty. You know, look, when he started experiencing little shit like that, it was only then did he reconnect with his dad. It was only then did he finally reconnect with his dad. You know, so like, so that was a situation where the mom who smoked crack in front of him when he was a kid wasn't even there to manipulate him. She wasn't even there to manipulate him, and he still had that bias towards mama like that. So in this situation, look at 50 Cent's son, that obvious bias, and I just told the whole story about D Wade, and we just gonna skip the part where one of the sons in the dress and got his hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side, and looking like he's 6 foot tall and 6-inch heels on the gram. We're gonna ignore that part for now. We're gonna ignore that part for now. However, so you could only imagine what 50 Cent's son had as a father, him not seeing it because he getting all this strag logic chewing his ear off, and got him thinking just like a woman. I'm accustomed to a certain kind of lifestyle, and he should be providing this kind of lifestyle, even if, you know, him and my mom not together, and even if I'm past 18, and even if this the lifestyle we accustomed to. Like that's literally how he's talking. Instead of taking instead of taking the easy layup that 50 Cent just gave to him, instead of taking it, that's that mom in the ear. That's that mom in his ear teaching him that dad is the enemy because he ain't doing enough for me because the $80,000 a year, a beyond livable salary, a salary that if it was taxed, put it like this: if you have to make $120,000 a year to where after taxes you bring in $80,000. So he was basically paying her a top 10% income in this country. But that wasn't enough. So the son must be turned against the father. That's a more or less what I got on this one. Azrael, the Daywalker, in the building. Shout out to you. Wait, hold on. Is that right? Did I get your name?
It's me. I'm just on a, in the spirit of Game of Thrones,
Okay,
House of
okay,
Dragon.
Cool. Got you. But real quick, before we dive in it, shout out to everybody supporting the stream. Shout out to car designer Chris. I think I already read this one. It says all he had to do is flip the first batch. Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out. I mean, listen, you can't ask for nothing better than that, man. You can't ask for nothing better than that, for you to have a passion that you're already engaging in for free, being a sneakerhead and gotta collecting shoes, and then your father buy you over 200 shoes and just like flip them online. You could support your own habit and be working in the business that you already contributing to. Man. So imagine that if I don't know, you're passionate about art, and your millionaire dad just buy you an art studio. Like damn. But anyway, Sir Tyson in the building says Kurt Franklin, Will, Brian McKnight. Funny how all these entertainers are entitled. I think entertainers. Oh yeah, entertainers' sons are entitled and suspect. I don't know about Brian McKnight, the kids being suspect. I don't know.
They're a little soft too. They're a little soft.
I know. I do have read the stories about how they're spoiled and entitled. I haven't heard them really talk or do anything, so I don't know if they suspect. I don't know that one. But Jackie Jack in the building says very important topic. Support the stream. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you, Sir Tice. Thank you, Jackie Jack. Thank you, Tom Cat in the building says read about the comedian Jerry Lewis. He didn't leave either of his 4 kids nor his wife a goddamn dime. Wow. Talk about following a blueprint. I don't know what happened to why nobody got left to dime. I mean, I don't know the story, so I'm not gonna say justified until I know the story. I do think you're supposed to leave something behind. But I don't know the story. Herschel Walker's son got a little sugary too, but I don't.
He is sugary, nigga. The
Yeah,
whole cupcake.
yeah. I don't. And again, and that's one that I'm hesitant to speak on because I don't know what the exact truth is. I'm not gonna get behind. So, I mean, I gotta do research on that one to find out what the actual truth is. But I ain't just gonna back somebody. You know, I ain't just gonna back
Herschel
somebody
Walker
just
did lie
because.
on a
Go ahead.
Yeah, Herschel Walker did lie about a couple of things though, particularly about him being a valedictorian and a couple of other things. And it's not a good look because it's like you claim you have all these achievements. Imagine somebody's like, "Oh, I'm top 5% in my company, and I graduated as valedictorian, and I made magna cum laude," and it's like you find out that they never went to college and they don't even have their GED. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he kind of lied about a lot of stuff. But long story short, let me just say this. So here's the thing. I'm from Brooklyn, right? So I actually grew up. The interesting fact, I was born in the same hospital as the same as 50 Cent as well, right? So I used to live in that area. I have family over there, right, in Jamaica, Queens. And it's funny growing up. It's a very like I left there around like 3 or 4, but you have family and whatnot. It's a very, especially back in the 90s and in the 2000s, it's a really rough spot, right? So for anybody to make it out of there, it takes a lot of will and resolve to be like on top of your game, let alone just to be 50 Cent, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I hear Marquise talk, I just be feeling like he's such a bum. He's just such a like. I don't want to curse on your stream, but
I've been cussing.
it's
It's
like,
cool.
nah, he's such a effing bum, man. Like when as New Yorkers, people know like how we're type of people that we hustle. Like we try to make $1 out of something, right? Try to make $1 out of 15 cents, as many rappers would say, right? When I see people like Jay-Z and I see people like 50 Cent, like we cut from the same cloth. Point in time,
I just
at
want to
around
say
like November.
real quick. Hold on. Right when you put yourself categorically in the same category as Jay-Z and 50 Cent, your computer started borging. Your mic started borging when you did that. Sure, it was a coincidence, but I think
Okay.
I think your mic knew you was overstepping your bounds. But
no, you know what it is? Because we have the same. Oh, I'm dead. We have the same hustler mentality. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Am I still borging? No, that's
No, you
wild.
good.
No, but for
You
real, all jokes aside, like I had started a vending machine business. And I started out with one, right? But it was during the pandemic, so a lot of the businesses and whatnot were closed. So what I did was I had my own regular job and I was working overnight and I was still in school. But I took the money from DoorDash. They had a thing where it's like if you sell 100, if you do 100 deliveries over the summer, you get an extra 1,000. So I took that 1,000 and then I invested it into 2 vending machines in November. By March, I already had like 6. And then before the end of the summer, I had close to 10, right? So coming from people like, that's on a smaller level, but I know how to flip stuff and I know how to make the money, so it's like when I see, and the reason why I had to stop the business is because I had made some boneheaded decisions. Like I tried to buy a car off of somebody that was around my age and he did some illegal stuff. So it's like I had to go back and forth and I had to take him to court one night. It's a long story. But long story short, it's like when I see stuff like that, it makes me think like, damn, and here's the thing, I'm deliberately estranged from my dad. Like to me, he's a bum. Like from the stuff, he don't got the hustler spirit that I do. But when you see somebody like a 50 Cent that gives his children all those options and he has the privilege to be able to like start your own business and you have your own inventory, you don't got to worry about having to worry about making what's it called, like making overhead or being able to sell your products. Like you always have something to rely on. It's like a lot of dudes coming from that area, we never had that ability, or we never had that privilege. So it kind of irritates you, especially when he's talking about, oh, $6,700 is not enough. And I'm like, bro, like most people, particularly in New York, if you're black, like most people don't even make like 60K. You're talking about 80K you're getting just off of basically child support, that's disposable income. And I was just heated. Like I was just pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. If you're new here, subscribe. If you are new here, subscribe. Shout out to Fantastic in the building. He
I'm dead.
says, "Yo, son, we all hustlers up top. B, word to your mother."
Oh, you heard? I'm dead. Yeah, no, but it's the truth. He had it really good, and it just shows you sometimes when you give your kids too much, and I think a lot of it has to do with his mom, because when I notice other white kids, like they have the privilege, but they still have the guidance of their father, and their mother takes the back seat. She's not trying to, like, hop on and try to be like the Suge Knight of the whole situation and being all up in the, the quote unquote video or whatnot. But yeah, it's a sad situation, because when he turns 30, or by the time he turns 40, he's gonna realize, like, damn, like he could have been a multi-millionaire if he would have, and it would have never been so hard if he would have just stuck with his father and not try to be against him.
Yeah, I mean, he technically got to see it right now. He technically got to. I'd be shocked if he doesn't actually see where he messed up. I mean, right now, I think he's coping right now. he's online lashing out, crying out for help. but no, I know he definitely see it. But it is a okay. There you go. Sir Ty still saying fifths. You got enough characters to say 50 Cent. 50 Cent's son next venture will be some beta ass tell all book about his pops. What? Hey, I see that as a possibility. I see that as a strong possibility. I do. That would be, that's probably his best. I hate to say, I don't want to get no bad advice, but or no advice that would be, counter to the father, but that's probably his best bet. That's legitimate. That's legitimate. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying the whole thing with the Supreme team, like they were notorious stick up kids. Like they were known for sticking up people. Like it didn't even matter if it was a rapper or somebody famous. Like they were notorious back in the day in Queens for sticking up people. And it's been alleged that they have caused the murder of some of 50 Cent's friends too. So it's like it comes across as though his son was trying to be petty, but it's really he just wanted attention. And it's a lot of beta moves, man. I couldn't. The Supreme team, they're notorious. Even now, like they had, I think they did it. It was like a couple years back. They did an interview with Griffin. I think his first name is Michael Griffin or something like that. Yeah, they did an interview. Griffin. Yeah, they tried to do an interview with him, talking about how he's like, oh, he wasn't the one involved in 50 getting shot and whatnot. But according to a lot of stuff, it's the exact opposite.
All right, we are joined by Sir Tice in the building. We're joined by Sir Tice in the building. Thank you for coming on through. You were saying quite a few things in the chat room.
Man, this topic is just kind of personal. Well, I won't say personal. I got a good friend, man, who had to turn away from his son. Nowhere near on the level of this, but it was just one, these ungrateful kids who you do everything for, and it's everybody else's fault, So, and this is a good friend of mine, and I was there and I saw it. So when I see these entitled punks, like I said, like Kirk Franklin, when I said suspect, I didn't mean, rainbow suspect. I just mean that all kids is suspect. I love when Kirk Franklin called his son a bitch ass nigga. Whatever. You remember that?
Yeah.
Man.
And then he apologized for it. He's like, I'm sorry, Lord. My son is a bitch ass nigga.
all that holiness wore off. He's like, if I don't tell you, bitch ass motherfucker. He was like, damn, is he talking to somebody on the street? But it's funny, man, how these entertainer kids, and I'm not saying all of them, but it's this entitlement. It's almost like 50 said in that narration. If you give somebody so much, you know, it's like, do they appreciate anything because they didn't have to work for anything? You know what I'm saying? I heard something on Manosphere Daily. I want to see if I got this, if I say this right. It's like, it was something about what do you appreciate more, when you work for $1 million or when you give it $1 million, you know? And that gym shoe, you said a layup? No, that's your kid. That's you holding up your kid with the basketball in his hand and hovering it over the rim.
Well, I said he threw him an alley-oop on a 6-foot rim. I'm assuming the boy is about 5'9". I don't know. So yeah.
And what I think is, when I said the comment about the book, he's not getting. I usually traverse social media just to see what the scuttle is and things like that. Not even the single mammies are feeling this one, man. You know, I mean, you got one or two who'll be like, yeah,
I saw a few.
You get, like I said, you're gonna always have these exceptions. You know, to the what I'm saying is, but most are like, you know, like I saw one saying he should have been given 15,000. What he was doing back then, he had the G Unit clothing line. I'm like, shut the fuck up, or whatever, you know. But nobody's feeling this, man. And this dude's, you know, the picture with the McGriff kid. I don't see what else he can do to redeem himself. And my question is, kid, what does he do for income? He clearly doesn't work. So
yeah. I mean, I'm a little confused by that one. I mean, that could be reason why he's. I called it crying out for help. I called it crying out for help. That could be the reason why.
What was the college story? What was the college story that Fifth knew that he would probably drop out, or did I kind of missed that portion?
Well, they were saying that they could have kept the child support going longer if he would have went to college. He basically could have just kept flunking out for 4 years and got more child support. But
who said that, the mammy or him, or it was just implied?
It was both of them, actually.
Yeah,
to be honest. But let me just say this though: to think like that, it just shows you, like, my God.
That's what,
like, who thinks like, what kind of man thinks like that? Okay, I'm gonna leech off my father for another 4 years. It's kind of hoish. It's like you want some side chick kind of shit. I don't know. Like, I never thought to, like, when I'm gonna be honest with you, and that's the funny thing too with my situation with my dad. Like, I didn't even, and we lived in, because I don't know if you guys know New York. It's like between boroughs. I'm in Brooklyn. My dad in Queens. Like, I didn't even get like 5 pairs of sneakers. That's how much I didn't get, right? So to hear a dude talk about like, oh, you didn't even get 6,700 is not enough. I'm like, dude, like, I would have been flipped that. I would have took like half of that and flipped it and had like vending machines not necessarily vending machines, but like ATMs. I had started like some cannabis stores or something, and it's just wild to me.
What you said, I think we all know this. You hear the expression of, it's not who you know, it's not what you know, who you know, and all this. Your dad is arguably one, let's just say from 2005 to 2015, arguably one of the top 5 entertainers in the industry. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you imagine what his network or his Rolodex, old term, or whatever, looks like, and what he has access to? The fact that you are a bum, and to me, a bum is a person who just don't do nothing or whatever, So yes, the fact that you a bum, who rocks with that?
Right.
I see somebody, Omega Dread, said he could have started. Hell, let's say his son smoked weed, which he probably does. He could have started a damn cannabis store.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't even smoke, but I remember this white guy that was Eastern European was telling me, like, he wanted to go into business with it. It only took like $3,000 to have like your own dispensary, like a small machine dispensary. It's only like cost like $3,000. When he's talking about, oh, his mom just gave him, oh, how can you survive off of 6,700? I'm like, I know New York rent is expensive, but it's like, dog, you couldn't even live, if it got to that, you can't live in Jersey and start a business. It was just so irritating to me. From somebody that grew up with close to nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's wild.
Yeah, no doubt. They it was bothering me on a number of levels when I was looking into this. Just to I hate to see that. I hate to see when a perfect a could be perfect father son situation is squandered. I don't I don't like to see that, man. That's just a dream come true. Dream come true. 50 Cent's your
Can I
dad,
make a
and
y'all
he try to
remember?
help you start a business. But go ahead.
No, do y'all remember when 50 first, or when he got on the national scene and such, how his son was everywhere with him?
Facts, all on the mixtapes with the little Marquise.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
used to
forgot
be on
about that.
with the mixtape with the little big chain, his big ass head.
he was in the
On the
G
mix-
Unit ads, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he was everywhere. It was almost
I
like,
forgot
damn,
about
is he
that.
using this kid for a prop? You would see him on the video shoots and sets. Hey, I gave Keep It 100 the link, Bernie.
That's cool.
He did some work with you know, because he's in the industry and such. He's got some insights into this because he did a show about this before. Let me ask you this: did you listen to any of the Choke No Joke interview?
When Choke No Joke was talking to
To Marquise?
I wouldn't call that an interview because they was just like
Oh,
kind
they
of
was just okay. It was okay.
it was on Instagram. It was on Instagram, and they were just kind of arguing back and forth.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
got you.
I played that at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What did I didn't hear the full thing because I've just been seeing it. Was Choke like, dude, are you crazy, or what? What was his thoughts?
Yeah, Choke was trying to talk him down from the ledge, basically. Yeah.
Because he was saying 6,700 a month is not enough. And you know, honestly, as I think about it, I think to myself, who does that sound like? It really sounds like them women, the delusional ass woman that will come on Kevin's show. Talking about 100K is not enough, or the guy have to make 200. They just don't have a concept of what numbers are. You know, men, we try to quantify certain things. Okay, we know this how much this is supposed to cost, this how much that's supposed to cost. We budget out, but for the mere fact that your mom is getting 80,000 untaxed money from a man, and amongst other things, that tells me like, bro, like you're beyond privileged.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like who here gets disposable income of almost close to 6 figures that's untaxed like that? You'll never get that. Yeah.
I actually like what Little Big Nate is saying right there. Only crazy people like living in New York. I used to live there. No disrespect, but you are a slave to your rent, bills, and insurance. From what I hear, I have to agree with that. I've never lived in New York.
Do what 90% of these New Yorkers did: move to Atlanta or North Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of people moving. Half of my friends moved to Atlanta, and then a couple of people I used to date, they like in somewhere in North Carolina. Like it's either there, one or two places, or Florida sometimes. But
yeah,
keep them out of here, man. Keep y'all out of here.
Everything high as hell in LA, but at least LA you got good weather and hot women and all kind of other shit in New York.
And the
you
Lakers,
you got cold winters and fucking rats and all. I'm sorry, okay.
No, you're right. Hey, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I was being disrespectful, but if
not at all. I'm not trying to leave in the next 18 monts. I'm trying to get my remote work going.
I love seeing that video of the rat literally taking a whole slice of pizza. Listen, I've bungee jumped 250 feet. I'm terrified of rats. Okay, I mean terrified. You walk down Times Square, you're gonna see a rat, and people be like, "It's no big deal. It's crazy." You know.
I mean, if anybody knows, like in Brooklyn, like near the A train, like literally, if everybody coming down the steps, like there'll be like a little space for rats going up the stairs while everybody's coming down the stairs. Like they literally have their own like little lane. You see the rats just jumping up. No, like jumping down.
That's not serious, is it?
I mean, I've seen it multiple times. It's just normal to me to be seeing that. You know,
I got to.
It's either rats or pigeons. But I really hate New York. I ain't gonna hold you.
Let me ask this question real quick. So it was 6,700, and 50 was probably paying for tuition for one of those private schools he was going to, right? Or has anybody?
So, you know what his excuse was? Let me tell you this. What he said. He said, "How can you expect to give 6,700 if I'm I'm the son of somebody famous like that. In other words, he's trying to imply that he would need to be in an upper echelon kind of neighborhood. He couldn't just be. He said he couldn't be just in any regular neighborhood. That's why he says 6,700 is not enough.
You know what's crazy about that? This just shows you more of what a bum his son is. So you grew up with all these other kids who's the sons of hedge fund managers and stuff like that, and you don't even have any associations with them to do something.
I don't know, man. I just, and people are always, when you compare yourself to Jay-Z 50, but no, it's like the mentality of trying to get it out the mud. It's like, I don't want to say, oh, no one else has it from other states, but.
And we got a live one. I didn't mean to interrupt you. We got a live one. Please highlight Bombardies. Bernie.
Who?
Bombardi.
Oh, damn, I did it by accident. Bombardi, if your firstborn son of your bloodline is entitled. Okay, hold on, wait. Your firstborn son of your bloodline is entitled to what's theirs. Don't mean you got to spoil him, but be a father and make him respect you.
You want to take a swing at that?
This is too.
Go ahead, Sir Tice.
Nope. Y'all get it.
I'll go. You think to yourself, you can't make no one respect you. It's. I mean, you can be a respectable person, but for you to say that person has to respect you, it's like no. You, if I'm putting clothes on your back and feeding you and your mom, and you're a trifling ass mother, that all for that alone should garner respect. And that's the thing. I don't want to say it's a female thing. I don't know what it is, but the entitlement, it becomes prevalent amongst a lot of young dudes. And I even noticed that myself with a lot of kids my age, or a lot of guys my age, if they're raised by their moms, they have this thing of like, they don't want to work hard, or they don't understand like I used to tell my friends, like, yo, why don't you go to school? Just go to school for 2 years. And it's like, they look for any excuse to not want to work hard, or they look for ways to work around working, putting your nose to the pavement and getting it out the mud. And I think it comes from the mothers, to be honest with you.
Okay, the biggest problem that jump off the page here with what you're saying is that whole, but be a father and make him respect you. The vagary in, but just be a father and make him respect you. That's the same type of vague talk that they talk when it's a woman who's doing something wrong, and they try to say, well, just be a man and she'll respect you. Be a real man. A real man wouldn't have those problems. If you was doing what you're supposed to be doing, then that she would just respect you and just fall in line. So that's what she's doing right there. That's her way of just trying to vaguely say he's doing something wrong without being able to fully pinpoint precisely what's going wrong. But go ahead.
Can I add to that? So Bombardi, I don't know how long you've been on, but welcome to the Bernard Riley Show. That said, I don't know if you heard the portion when 50 was narrating in this book, but does it sound okay? So he basically, just to recap, he made a call to his son when he had an idea, and he thought of his son's interests, and he came up with a business venture idea of what it was. If you didn't hear it, I don't want to rehash it. But do you think that a person who doesn't have any kind of relationship with their kid would know their interests and just on a whim make a call like that?
No, it wasn't just a call. He actually saw he put the money up. He paid the money.
He didn't just make
He literally, his son's a sneakerhead. His son's a sneakerhead and loves sneakers. He saw a shoe store that was closing down. He basically went in there and just bought all the inventory, bought hundreds of shoes, and was like, "Here, this is the start of your business for you to essentially sell online, for you to start an online sneaker business." So he started him a business with free inventory to start up with, hundreds of shoes. So yeah. So he tried to get the ball rolling on him. So he definitely invested in him. But we are joined.
There go my dog, who I know got some insight into this.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to.
Can I just say this real quick? As men, I've learned this, especially I had to learn it the hard way in my early 20s. No one owes you anything. Not even to some degree, your parents, yes, they do, but it's because they're legally obligated. No one owes you jack squat. And as a man,
Tough time selling that to modern black people.
Bruh, and I had to realize, like, you know, even if it's something small, like I've had other family members, particularly my dad, is like, yo, like I'm not, you know, you get the cold shoulder and you have to realize, like, okay, you have to understand that regardless of how you feel about that person or what you believe that they owe you, you have to be under the expectation that they might not give you that, and you have to be okay with that as a man. You can't whine your way or beg your way or bitch your way through getting things from people like a woman. No one owes you anything. I had to realize that.
All right. Right on.
Before you guys
But we got Marcus from the Keep It 100 channel in the building. I hear you got some inside information on this. I'm gonna pass you the mic so you can go ahead and speak on it. What you got?
I mean, most of the stuff that I would say has been said.
Okay.
First, I want to respond to, what is it, Bomb Barbie, right? She says, your firstborn son of your bloodline is entitled to what's theirs. I don't know what that means. Don't mean you got to spoil him, but be a father and make him respect you. And I'm trying to understand what that looks like. The kid is, well, he's not a kid. He's a grown 25-year-old man. So how do you make a 25-year-old man respect you? Without putting hands on him or something like that, right?
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Is that your cell phone?
Who?
Somebody got some music. Hold on. Yeah, that's
I don't
you.
know what that is.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's coming from my end, and y'all can't even hear it. I got a window open somewhere.
Hey, Mark,
and I can't even figure out where and how to mute the shit. Okay, all right, my bad. I found it.
Can I say something to Mark?
Completely my fault. Go ahead. Well, no, I want him to go ahead and fire off what he's about to say.
It ties into his answer. I promise you.
Okay.
No, I want to hear him. What's up?
Hey, Marcus, on your show. Okay, so real briefly, you know how people say, "Oh, you're gonna whiten the black race, mixed breed, and all that stuff," or you're gonna get rid of the blackness and all this. And Marcus, you had summed it up using 50 Cent's son and comparing both of him and his son or whatever. And that, is it about so-called complexion, or is it about your father's values?
Right.
Can you build off of that one?
Okay. So I remember that show. Basically, we had a bunch of guys, making the argument, having the son that looks like you, this, that, and the other. And this argument, this racial construct argument, right? Because race is a social construct. Let's start there. All right. And the idea that black folks in America are trying to uphold that, and even saying, hey, they're white in the black race. That's backwards. You can't whiten the black race. You can only blacken the white race. That's how genetics works. Okay, that's how the world was colonized, by the white man landing in different places in the world and putting his dick in whatever woman was there. That's what he did. And these guys, for some reason, think that it's more important to preserve this idea of like pure blackness than it is for you to be, have input in your lineage as a black man, and to have peace and to have functionality in the relationship between you and your children. So to say that, this race loyalty ideology is more important in that we have to go into like that to risk this sort of situation that 50 is dealing with his son, his firstborn son, right? Because his younger son, we've seen pictures of him with his younger son, and he did that with a non-black woman. And he's with that kid all the time, the same way he was with Marquise in the beginning. It's already been said, the kid was in the Wankster video. He was everywhere. He was on, MTV Cribs with 50. The kid was everywhere. He had everything, grew up real nice. Okay. But that was turned around by the child's mother. So 50, in effect, has lost his firstborn child. He's lost him. Race loyalty is not bigger than that. It's not. I don't care what nobody says. Women, men, whoever's in the chat, I don't care what anybody has to say against what I just said. It's not more important than that. If I am going to have children with anyone, and I'm going to be, responsible or accountable for that child's well-being, it's not more important.
Yeah, I can't be up here for too long, but yeah,
Did you want to? You could guess you could speak now, Ed.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I didn't know if anybody was really waiting to get in or
No, yeah, you got it.
no. I understand where Marcus is coming from. I mean, that's pretty much, SYSBM 101 as far as the real mentality behind that. So I definitely understand where he's coming from and agree where he's coming from. And I think at the end of the day, you got a whole bunch of motherfuckers that when it comes to when the shit hits the fan, they don't really want to make a real decision. What they want to do is hope that the other party, in this case the women, are just gonna do right. And so this idea is, and another thing too, is this idea of race loyalty. That's some shit that a lot of black men, it's interesting, and the shit that black men are mimicking white men, you don't see black women call black men out for that when it benefits them. But that's when you look at where that idea comes from. That idea comes from white men. You are mimicking white men when you do that. Now, I understand the logic behind it, but you are mimicking, and then the level of sacrifices that you're taking, because a lot of white dudes don't make those sacrifices, not to the point where they'll lose their own kids. That's why we make jokes talking about how white kids treat their mothers. Because that shit is not the same dynamic. Now, it's not necessarily as exaggerated as that, but it's not the same dynamic. The white woman is not God in the white household. It is not, but they are God in the black household. As far as what I wanted to talk about though, once I heard, because I had it on mute, so I was in the chat, I had it on mute, but I did hear the part where you said, Bernard, that 50 tried to help set up a sneaker thing for his kid. Now that resonated with me because I've talked to my youngest brother about that, and because he likes shoes, and I've talked about that. So, like on my channel, as far as I'm not here to really tell you what to do, I'm here to kind of give my opinion, give some options, and it's up to you to put that shit together to make that shit work for you because there is no one size fits all solution. So, if you have a hobby, the smart move is to take your hobbies and turn those hobbies into assets. What's the advantage of a hobby? A hobby is something you like to do. So they always tell you, and I have a saying, this saying does come from me. I call it passion, profits, purpose, which is what is something you're passionate about, a hobby. What is something that you do that is purposeful, that kind of feeds your heart, kind of you add into the world. We could call the black manosphere and what we do, nigga, I don't get paid for this like I could. So yeah, I'm doing this for purpose, as far as the black manosphere stuff, at least me. And I argue keep it 100 too, because nigga, we don't get paid for what we put out enough. But anyway, and then profit, right? So you have something. My point is this, because y'all could put all that together yourself. The fact that 50 took the time, it's not just he gave him money. He took the time. That shit killed anything. That what this brother is trying to say, this young brother is trying to say. I'm like, dude, your dad put the time in. Your dad is a bit busy motherfucker. So don't act like he didn't tell you he gave you money when he didn't have to. Obviously he's that, but he did something else. He took the time to try to set you up to be a man, to try to really do that and use his advantage. He didn't do it to be like, oh, I ain't trying to deal with you. He did that so he can give you your own. He tried to teach you this, and then he used his money, his success back behind it. I don't understand what the fuck else you want other than you really want to be like, what's Lil Wayne's daughter, or what's Floyd Mayweather's daughter. You want to run around like that. And even Floyd getting tired of that. You want to run around like a chick. That's essentially what you're doing. And here's the thing I would tell. If I was talking to him, if them dudes were I ain't going to say if they were any kind of dudes, but they really want to give him real advice, they should have told him this. And I'm done after this. Number one, you are a black male. You are not white. You're not a white woman. You are not white. And you are not a woman. Nobody when it comes to the hierarchy of giving a fuck, nobody gives a fuck about you, dude. Nobody, when I say no, nobody gives a like your archetype of your situation, nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. So you doing this is doing nothing but reaffirming 50 Cent's opinion of you. And the truth is you're not gonna harm 50 Cent, your dad, because of his reputation anyway. You're not gonna harm him. Nobody gives a fuck about you. This ain't like the shit with Dre and his daughter, and then she had kids. So yeah, they'll try to pick that up and make Dre look bad. Oh, he ain't taking care of his daughter. The same simps that would cape for Dre's daughter and grandkids are not gonna be the same simps that's gonna show up for your ass. That's number one. Number two, you got something else that's fucked up with you too. You had a silver spoon in your mouth. You bitching because you didn't have a platinum spoon, but you had a silver one. And you had a silver one in an environment like New York, where a lot of black folks are struggling, because you know how they are about bringing migrants in for voting, cost of living. You're in a very keep 100 speak on that. You're in a very hostile environment to basically thrive in. And not only did you have it easy, your mother didn't have to do shit. She was able to rest in her fucking femininity. And yet, this is what the fuck we got out of it. And he paid.
I'm sorry, I gotta laugh anytime I hear that.
How did that work out for?
well, nigga, I listen. That's the problem. Yeah, I run my mouth a lot, but I listen just as much as I talk, and that's what trips people up. All that I need the rest. That bitch had 18 years to rest. And what you get is a son that not only don't like your ass, but a son is taking every fucking microphone that he gets to say he don't like your ass. Fuck that. And this is why 50 Cent need to be on his Omni-Man shit. He got the kid with the Asian, half something else shit. Yeah, bullshit. But my point is that shit shows you all that shit is goalpost moving. That shit don't matter. He put not only his money, but his time. He would have gave it. That's his firstborn too. Please. 50 did the right thing.
Let me jump in here because I want to address Miss Bomb Barbie again. Can you display her comment, please, Bernard, sir?
I'm trying to find it.
These hoes need to really show. These hoes need to really show their face before these little acronyms, these little avatars. Come on.
Is this one right here?
Yeah, check this out, right? Because Tyson, tell you, I've been having this very conversation on social media for some years now. All right, all I see is women in the comments and the replies and this and that trying to share the blame between 50 and this woman.
Yeah, and that's how you know. That's how you know she knows she's wrong. Whenever they try to do that with their
it takes two to tango bullshit.
Yeah, they take the edge off. But go ahead, Marcus.
It's never you. I ain't gonna say never, but for the most part, you never get anybody to admit that the woman did it, and the blame rests there. They always got to find a way to lump you in to the bullshit, right? She said the child. Let's read it. The child is a victim of two spiteful parents. I want to understand, right? Because she's like, you don't address that though, but you're intent on making 50 the victim. How did the woman lose? Right.
Also, hold on. I want to jump on this. I'm not gonna call you out your name. I'm gonna respect Bernard's platform today and not go fully off. But here's the thing. Did I not say 50 Cent have a reputation? 50 Cent got at least a persona of being petty, which is one of the things that armors him up. I don't know if she put the comment before I said that, to be fair. That's number one. Number two, yeah, you said, how did the chick lose? Here's another thing. If 50 would have had the kid, if 50 would have had full custody of the kid, I promise you, not only would that woman have got some paper, he wouldn't have just let her out there homeless. He wouldn't have did that just off the street shit, but also, his son wouldn't have turned against her. So again, that goes back. So again,
No.
Nice try. We understand that you have nice try, but I mean, come on, you gotta do better. You gotta respect this. Y'all gotta stop disrespecting us in the black manosphere by coming up with this canned shit. Y'all gotta do better. This is some kindergarten shit y'all bringing up. Like all you're doing is you're not blaming the black man, and you don't like that. First of all, he gets blamed all the time. In fact, low key, when you look at the questions, even he was 50 was asked, well, do you think that's because he's young and all this other shit? But again, it's so remedial how they see shit. Go ahead, Marcus. It's so remedial. Oh, you're not blaming the black man, so you're not saying that though. No, that's your projection. That's how women see shit. Go ahead.
This kid is grown now. He's not a victim of anything. He victim how? You understand what I'm saying? He's like, if you fail at your firstborn as a man, see again, more attempts to blame the dad who has just earlier, Bernard was playing the audio of this dude basically saying that he lost his son. You talk about if he fails his firstborn. How did he fail? You can't even articulate it. All this poetry that these chicks be spitting, and this is why motherfuckers have moved on. We don't want it with you. We don't want it with you. So one second, because failed his firstborn. No, his firstborn failed to respect what he was being given. He failed to respect the gifts, the opportunity. And that was brought on by the child's mother. Y'all,
Marcus.
Wait. One more thing. Because this gaslighting kills me.
That's all that is. Yeah.
These women know. Hold on. These women know they got the fucking state behind them, right? And didn't tell us what we failed to do, didn't do this and that and the other. But they know that they have the power to do X, Y, Z. They know that. They know they got custody. They know they got the state, in their pocket.
She doing that. She know that. She doing this.
It's all of that. But don't talk about. See, you talk about this patriarchy shit.
Yeah.
Move to China. Move to Saudi Arabia with that argument. Okay.
The point is,
you do not. We do not have.
Y'all know what that means. Y'all know what that means.
Exactly. Because
get
my
her.
thing,
Get her.
because here's my thing on, like, I'm not even about to continue the argument.
These chicks be in the way and then tell us that we failed to get them out the fucking way.
No.
Y'all be in the way.
Hold on.
Y'all be in the way.
True.
Y'all be in the fucking way.
You
gonna tell this man he failed his son with a bitch in the way.
Guess what?
Y'all bitches be in the fucking way. Get the fuck out the way.
You do know she's winning, right?
No, I don't give. Listen, I don't care.
They never.
Hold on.
I don't give
that's
a fuck.
That's her. I get it. But my thing is, hold on.
The
thing that I'm trying to say is, like, this is a woman-friendly channel as far as coming up. The link is down. I'm not saying you ain't got a right to say what you need to say, but the reality is she need to bring her ass up. Like,
she's not gonna do that.
No, exactly. So the reality is, this is why when they start crying, I did a video last night when these motherfuckers are wondering why, like Courtney was wondering why are dudes pushing back against her shit, and I basically, she's an avatar for a lot of this stuff. Is because a lot of what you just said, the trust is gone. I mean, honestly, 50 did the right thing by, like, literally putting it out there that he don't love his son. A lot of dudes, and this is what I do agree with Ramil on. And yeah, I don't have kids. Easier said than done. But I'm telling you right now, I swear to God on my mom's grave on this, if I was in the same situation, this is why you have more kids. Because black men, it's to the point where black men, you're going to have to start writing some motherfuckers off. You're gonna really have to have the strength to do that. If you guys, especially if you in his situation, same thing with Dre, because it don't matter what you do, you always gonna be the bad dude. And internally, in your own internal family mechanism, they know what time it is. So the thing about it is, like, these chicks would know. Remember, you can see all of our faces. All of our faces, you can see it, at least in our avatars. You got these random chicks that are upset, they crying about Passport Bros and all of this, yet they want to say this. No, 50 Cent did the right thing. And at the and guess where? Because you keep talking about, she was talking about that woman. That chick is done. That chick is done. It's over for her. You see what happened with fucking Nas's baby mama when this shit is over. So and all these black female evictions and all this bullshit. So y'all go be sick, or y'all talking about we need Red Supreme did a video talking about black women talking about the white man's gonna save us from Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm like, okay. That so I don't even all that in the way shit. It's past that shit. Y'all we're past that.
Why is Bernard funny?
Nah, let the comments live, bro. Let them live.
No, because they say shit like that. Because truth be told, I can't say on air. Like if women were saying something, I'm not even gonna say all that. But my
can I say this though? You know,
hold on, Zell. A lot of these arguments, they come like a chick like that comes in here because she's a shout out to Grinch. These are femcells, and what they want to do is blame black men for everything. Yeah. And sit here and say you lost you not a man, you not this, you not that.
Why you let me do that?
Yeah,
why you let me do that?
Yeah, and then you start looking like Cameron, like you done went and did 5 tours in Afghanistan and got left there for a couple of years. And Cameron, when he said what he said, that nigga looked like he came out of being a prisoner of war.
Yo,
talking about he was tortured.
We got mothers who abuse their kids, and the first thing these women ask, well, why didn't the father stop the mother from abusing the kids? and we know how American laws are regarding custody. Like, get the fuck out my face.
My favorite one or worst one is not that one. It's the well, why didn't you go to family court and fight for your kids? Why didn't you fight
harder?
And I'm like, fight harder? Who? The system? No. Not the system. That system is an inanimate object. Who is he fighting? I made them have to say that. I was like, yeah, he's fighting you. That's don't say why didn't he fight me? Like, no.
What you should, Marty, what you should have, I mean, not Marty, Marcus, what you should have did was show up on OBS like Marty does with his gifs, and you should have showed up with like a pan in, pan out of that the picture you put on Facebook of all, the picture we all know of all the young brothers, with the white bitches. That should have been your answer. That's why that, and that's it. To me, because what she don't. This is what they don't understand. The younger dudes saw this, just like how a lot of us saw the stepdaddy shit, which is why the stepdaddy insurance program has been canceled. That's been gone. That was gone going into the black manosphere. Y'all think y'all being cute when we know what this economy is. And we know what this is. Like, Marcus, you don't got kids. No, you do got a kid. Do you?
Hell no.
Okay. Like nigga, Ezel, you got kids?
You hear that answer? Hell no.
Do you got kids, Ezel?
Not yet.
I don't. You see what I'm saying? So dudes are on the market the way they can get a kid with somebody. This is the game. This is what y'all don't understand. So y'all go be out here being on social media laughing when we know what this environment is. You better go get under the comment section of them articles all these black women writing, talking about black females are getting evicted. But anyway.
Fight that eviction harder. Fight the overturn of Roe v. Wade harder. You know what I'm saying? Fight all the issues that you got. Fight that shit harder. Like at this point, that's where I'm at with it. Whatever women are going through.
Oh, you didn't know there was a recession? Why didn't you fight harder?
Yeah, bitch, fight harder. Word? Wow, that's crazy. Fight harder. You should fight that shit harder.
This is what all the niggas ain't shit say. This is how a woman know that she fucked up. When a woman just pours her heart out and she asking for help, and dude be like, "Wow, that's crazy." So what you gonna do?
Yeah, what you gonna do?
Hey, yo, they be laughing. What you gonna do?
The next time you see the next time you see a Chad Wheeler situation happen with a swirler, you should be like, why didn't you just fight harder?
I ain't even gonna say all. No, I ain't even gonna say all that because that's fucked up. What I will say is, why aren't these sisters? Why aren't these sisters that's supposed to represent black women not talking about it? Because a lot of black women didn't talk about that shit when that happened. They be keeping that shit under wraps.
All right. Joe's in the building says, if you know it wasn't true, why ain't you fight harder? They always pull that ish. Yeah, absolutely. They stay pulling that one. There, I said it in the building. Says, hold on. Why did that double click? Okay, anyway. There, I said it in the building. Says, question: if situation was rearranged and a non-custodial mom was disrespected by an entitled daughter, would the women be expected to mommy up?
No, they would say the opposite. And like again, we play these games with this shit like this. When women say shit like this over here, what I expect is, and shout out to Jackie, I'm not necessarily talking about in the chat, but I'm saying they're supposed women in videos are supposed to check that shit. This is why I like, Love Dorsey. Y'all can say what y'all want about Love Dorsey, but chick like that brought her ass in there. She get whole cussed out,
I fucks with
get
Love
rid
Dorsey.
of, and bear. Well, a lot of these niggas don't. She a little bit too urban for these niggas.
Yeah.
You sound like you sound like
I'm
Jada.
trying to be. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be respectful to my manosphere brethren, because these niggas be having knee jerk. Nigga, I showed her to Marcus A. Brown. And this wasn't on video. Marcus had like a knee jerk reaction, like a sneeze. And I know he meant well, but these niggas be like,
listen, man.
Okay, it's one thing for somebody to say, nah, her look, the way she talked, tattoos, that's not my personal cup of tea of a woman I want to date, but she's
that ain't what these niggas be like. Like they saw a demon.
She's a chick on the internet doing content, and for people who like her, I respect the content that she's doing, and I hope the audience are getting some value from it. That's where I'm at with it. So
listen,
you shouldn't. I
can
separate that. I can separate that from. Can y'all hear me? All right. Hold on.
My fault.
I can separate that from whether or not I'm personally into her. Like that's a different thing. So yeah, dudes shouldn't be tripping because I guess
they shouldn't, because they're throwing away the message for the messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
if we're gonna do that, then you can't criticize women for not dating or being attracted to progressive and productive men because they don't appeal to them in other ways.
Yeah, I had that argument in Marcus. And that's the funny thing about niggas. And the thing that made me laugh about this is it was some of those dudes, let's call them the suburban dudes, but it was a lot of these niggas that try to act like they just the most thugged out niggas out here. And then they want to play this game of, oh, she ain't feminine enough. I'm like, nigga, if you don't shut the fuck up, like you niggas don't be fucking hoes like that, you better. Like seriously,
these women
like Platinum Elite, and I ain't trying to look. Shout out to Platinum, but Platinum is like the dude at the other. Yeah, man, I can't, nigga. You from Memphis? Shut up. Like that's the standard.
There's no amount of ratchet that Platinum wouldn't try to mount.
Platinum, nigga, Platinum, and Platinum didn't just say that. Platinum put his foot down on that shit. Like that nigga took a stand. He drew a line with a permanent marker. I'm like, nigga, what? Why is this bitch still here?
Who's that?
Like the bomb Barbie, nigga. Y'all need to do y'all job.
I said time her out to your fingers bleed.
I'll give her timeout.
No. I'll give her a chance to come back. I'll give her a chance to come back later and act normal. When I say time her out to your fingers bleed, I mean everybody who got a wrench, time her out at least 5 times. I mean she's done for the day.
Did you see the Loki show?
Loki?
Yeah, you got to hit her with that stick that sends them to the nether realm. Like,
No. She came in on some gaslighting nonsense. Too much of it gets you timed out. It's other shit that just get instantly blocked on site. She didn't do an instantly block on site offense to me.
This shit, the Bernard platform is a lot more lenient than my ass is, because y'all know.
I understand. I understand that.
I love trolls. I don't block trolls. I love them.
Yeah,
I know it.
Fun. They can be fun because they'll say some things that it's clearly some bullshit, but the thing is, it's people who think like that, so it just gives us an opportunity to go ahead and refute it. But if they're obsessive about it to the point where it get annoying, I'm not gonna let them take over the whole damn show. So that's where the timeout comes in.
I'm just tired of the lipstick alley starter kit shit. Like, we got the bomb Barbie, we got the pink, we got the blonde weave because we got to have that. This is like, Oh my God.
But what I was saying about Love Dorsey is, fellas, if you guys are gonna throw out like messages because you're not attracted to a female, that's a recipe for disaster. Because again, that's what they're doing, and we speak out against that. It's you're doing the exact opposite.
I tried to say that, and truth be told, and the thing is, and not to get into angles, because I have looked at this, because these hoes, like, trust me, these chicks, when it comes to these camera angles, they be masters of that. But one thing y'all don't understand is because what it is that neck tattoo, because how she leans in her car, because she's doing a car video, and this is from somebody that does a lot of car videos. You know, she's like, what, I think 5'5", 5'6". Most of you niggas, even me at 5, you're not gonna see that looking up. You're not gonna see that normally. And I know this is true because I've had dudes come share her posts in the Discord, be like, man, I didn't know she was built like that. Da, da, da. So what y'all think y'all see versus how she probably comes across in real life is not the same thing. Now, as far as how she sounds, there's a lot of stuff to complain about. Okay, that is what that is. But see, this is the thing. The reason why I've shared her, and I love seeing how that difference of how dudes react. It's because you niggas will listen to Six and or Courtney, and y'all will absorb all that bullshit. A lot of y'all, and even the ones that will start trolling and pushing back. Because I've told y'all, don't be beating up Courtney on her own shit. Like, because at the end of the day, she's got a right to have an opinion, right? A lot of reason why these dudes push back so hard is because it's like you pushing back against alcohol. You don't just say, I don't want it. You take the bottle and you throw it and say, don't ever bring this shit around me again, because you know you can't handle it. So y'all start going over and beyond because y'all don't even want to. It's like y'all can't have a conversation with a female without turning into instant simps. So y'all just start turning on the master trolls and shit. And y'all do the most. See, me, I can talk to a chick and she could be very attractive. And if she's a dumb bitch, I can call her a dumb bitch. Oh, you fine as hell, but you're dumb. Or usually I say what the fuck you're saying is dumb. But that I can separate that. A lot of y'all can't, which is why like women like Six or Melanie King can do, or Jessica X can do what they do. You know, and it ain't even they or Danica. It's not even their fault. It's how you all react to it. And Love Dorsey, somebody that's saying, like, she ain't just saying the real shit. She checking the fuck out of these chicks the way y'all want her to be checked. But because she don't sound a way that appeals to you all of a sudden you niggas know what femininity is now.
Check this out.
All of a sudden now y'all know
real
femininity.
Quick. All right, real quick. Hold on for a second. Sodomy and Chicken in the Building, he says the white woman is going to save black women from the men they pick. I think I'm lost on
the white man. The white man.
Oh, I'm sorry. The white man is going to save.
I mean, I can say the same thing.
I'm still lost on that one. I
could say the same thing. I could say the same thing about any dudes that y'all. I mean, shout out to Fantastic, because I chastise y'all niggas when y'all tried to clown Fantastic about that urban shit when that dude came on fucking Concrete Rose or whatever. Y'all want to, like, y'all niggas, y'all be looking for little things petty and getting around the point. Fantastic's in the chat. Remember they tried to get Fantastic, talk about
what?
Because he was on fucking Concrete Rose and the breakdown. And they were interviewing an XX star. Oh. They do these things, and then you got these petty assholes. This is somebody that shows his face, shows what he's doing, and y'all in your avatars, you were treating him with respect. You didn't actually talk to him, like clown him for doing XXX work, as if you niggas would do that if y'all actually talk to these motherfuckers in real life. Y'all would act like good little people, like you were told. And these are the same motherfuckers they want to act like, I'm not a square, I'm down, I'm real. You put them in front of real shit, then they start bitching up. Anyway.
All right, Big Mac, hold on real quick. I know you're trying to jump in, Marcus, but hold on. Big Mac in the building. He says, my 28-year-old son told me his best life lesson was my cutting him off financially until he became responsible. 50 was doing good level dad stuff.
God level.
I mean, good. I mean, he was doing God level dad stuff. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Also, Machine in the building says, Bernard, you have a week's worth of content off of last night's Lapeef. I don't think I've ever done content reaction to Lapeef. I don't watch that like y'all think I probably do. I may duck in for a couple minutes, 5 minutes, and then get in and get out. So I'll be missing all the stuff, and I don't. I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look. But Mr. C came through on the Cash App and sent the $20 Cash App. I do appreciate you coming through, supporting the stream. I think that is it on the Cash App end. Thank y'all for the support. All right, go ahead, Marcus. You got it.
Now, what I was gonna say about Love Dorsey, you got an echo there. I think
I'm trying. I don't know if that's me. Let me see.
It's not on mine.
I don't think that's. That might be Ed. I don't know. Figure it out. See if check and see if it's.
I muted it now, so go ahead now.
Okay.
Now, I was saying the thing about Love Dorsey, you know, with guys saying, you know, things about her tattoo or her voice too deep or she's too masculine, this and that. Just consider this. Women let simp niggas speak for them all day. They don't throw them under the bus. They don't, oh, you weak, lame, simp, corny nigga, don't talk for us. They don't do that. Mm-hmm. They let these niggas advocate for them all day without interruption. So if a tattooed, you know, deep voice female in the car want to speak for black men, let her do it. And don't throw her under the bus while she's doing it. Don't point out her physical features, none of that shit. Because women let anyone defend, enable, cape, etc. for them.
They let a gay dude, a trans woman speak for them. They don't give a damn.
and to be fair, most of the dudes, they don't care. They don't care for, and it is what it is. But they don't sit there and go out of it. Ain't like niggas like, man, you know, she ain't on the list. Like how some women are on the list for like they're sucking up super chats or sucking up oxygen in a room. Because truth be told, Love Dorsey's on Instagram. So it's really, they don't speak on it. My thing is, she checks these, right? Probably outside of Crimson Cure, nobody actually chin checks these chicks harder on a more consistent basis,
right?
On some real shit. And to be honest, the main reason I mention her is because she deals with, it's like, you know how when you write off bad credit, and then it's like not only did the Bank of America wrote it off, then the person they sold it to sold that debt again, because that's just how bad this motherfucker is. That's what Love Dorsey deals with. The motherfuckers that I'm not even like the bomb Barbies or the whatever. I'm not even trying to have this conversation. And people will say, well, why do you share? I share her because rather than y'all going back and forth in the comment section on Facebook or whatever, to the extent that people do, y'all need to do two things. One is tell them to go get a white man. And if they act like they don't want to get a white man, tell them to talk to Love Dorsey. Because Love Dorsey look exactly like, you know, independent, does all her stuff. Yet she will tell them why they ain't shit in a much more effective way than you probably can. That'll actually resonate with them because it's another woman telling them they ain't shit. And by the way, she got a dude that's equally yoked with her. So it don't even matter. In fact, they got an Instagram page together. So now you see somebody that's got a man that's out here doing stuff that's telling you, I came from probably worse than where you came from. And bitch, I'm telling you, you ain't shit. They can't fight that. They can't do that bullshit that like they do when they troll us. So they don't like that. So rather than arguing with these chicks, just give them a Lord. I'm talking about the females, not the males. Just give them a Love Dorsey. You know what? Talk to this bitch. Talk to this chick and see what she said. Because truth be told, she actually does one of those little consulting things where she be doing like 10 or 50 at a time. So some of these people might get help if they're open to it. That's the reason why. That's a practical reason as to why I share her. It ain't no, oh, I'm just trying to share a woman. She's actually somebody you can send to these chicks and not waste your time. Because a lot of y'all be really going keyboard against these chicks. And I'm like, don't waste your time. Just give a link, talk to this chick, be gone. Because some of the goofy shit, you put it out there, Marcus, on Facebook. Some like, what was that post where a chick said, a real man will if you cheat, a real man will accept that and stay and try to work through it. Not like these bitch ass niggas that just break up with you. I'm like, I'm not entertaining that bullshit. I'm 35. I'm about to be 36 in another in less than 30 days. Fuck that. You know what? I got somebody for you. You talk to her. Get some help.
Well, just for the record, I mean, I haven't watched enough of Dorsey's. I mean, I'm familiar with what she looked like. I've seen hell, I only saw a video because you shared it. So, but I don't watch her content to vouch for what you say. But overall, I do understand the point that y'all
you watched 3 videos. You've watched them all. Her shit is pretty much. She literally got a and six so chicks. It ain't the same because six. The thing I don't like about six is shallow. She behind that black love shit is basically she's one of these beautiful people. Should just be with beautiful people, and everybody else should get what they can get. That's what she on. Anyway.
All right. So Clue channel, hold on real quick. Clue channel in the building says good topic BR. Thank you for the super chat.
Now I love Dorsey according to these niggas.
Okay. And real quick, because I just got distracted. I normally don't do this, but sometimes when I'm on here, I'm just scrolling and shit just pop up on my timeline. Fridays. And just a quick detour. I know y'all don't watch the WNBA, and I don't either. But for some reason, this chick, I think her name is Tia Cooper, that played for the goddamn LA Sparks, is thick as hell. And for some reason, shots of her ass and crossing people over just been popping up on my timeline. So I just
the algorithm know what you like.
Yeah, the algorithm know what I like. I like basketball and thick asses. All right, cool. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled program. That just popped up. I just figured I'd share with y'all. I don't even know if y'all can see it good. But anyway, back at it.
So I just wanted to say this. I think it was Dark Knight who said this. Nobody's talking shit about Love Dorsey like that. That's bullshit. I've seen it, right? And on multiple occasions. My thing is, nobody's asking you to date this woman, right? Is more about what she's saying and is it factual? Because we say the same thing about us. You know what I mean? It should be about the message, not the messenger, right? So if that's the case, you got a woman out here checking women, and the first thing dudes are talking about is how feminine or not feminine she is. Like, at the end of the day, they not checking the simps and the male feminists and these types of cats, the ones who cape for them based on these same things. All right. So let her do what she does. Let her check these women, share the videos, get the message out. Because it ain't about none of that stuff that y'all talking about. Because to be honest, and no disrespect, when you say that, you sound like women. I'm gonna keep it real. You sound like, well, oh, she ain't pretty enough to. Who cares? It's like Ice Cube ain't this, and he should be a rapper that's writing to the politicians. Like, y'all want to pick the vessel that the message comes through, and again, it's emotional nonsense. Let it go. I don't care who is advocating for me, as long as they do it and they do it in a way that's effective.
It
and
is.
That's how
I think
you win.
I think one of the $1 million questions, and I always ask this to a lot of chicks doing that type of content, the ones that I've talked to, I've asked them, what percentage of your audience is female? Because y'all talking about her checking women. Well, she got to, for all we know, she probably got to, I mean, Ed,
hers is better than most.
Yeah,
I mean, it ain't 90%. No, she's got a diverse audience.
Jaquan says it's always about the messenger. And you know what, Jaquan? That's why y'all niggas lose. Straight up. That's why y'all niggas lose.
No, it's not always. Yeah, and that actually explains a lot in the space, because even with Kevin, like, you'll always have a problem with somebody saying something. Like, if it's Angry Man, somebody's gonna have an issue. If it's Kevin, somebody's gonna have an issue.
Right.
You know,
right.
and she's just like, first of all, I could care less, because you don't see this just manifest with like the females. You see it like manifest with the dudes. Niggas felt some type of way about Kevin. And at the end of the day, it was about the messenger. Same thing with BGS. Same thing. It's always somebody, and that's just an excuse. Because if you're really about the message, You know, that really shouldn't matter, because the truth is you need a Kevin Samuels and an Angry Man. I'm not saying they got to say the same exact thing.
Right.
But you have to have them, like certain the basis things that we have, like when it comes to you having control of your kids, architect your destiny, the right to get reciprocation based on the work you put in. If you put in work, I'm talking about the basic things. You need multiple black faces to say that. Why? Which is one of the reasons why when it came to Kevin, I thought it was a missed opportunity. Here's the thing. I'm not going to say, because there's a lot of stuff behind why, you know, he wouldn't have picked who he picked, because how he came up and what certain people did. I get that. But even put that aside, like, there's no reason why, like, if you do, because I'm sorry, them man's weeks never work. They were never successful. I fuck with Kevin. I was, you know, but they weren't. And looking at it, I would say like these niggas were sitting there simping. I mean, crying. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but whatever. That's not. It just is. It didn't work. Everything doesn't work. But my point is, the better thing, probably the way to do that would have been to say, okay, here's Alan Roger Curry. He does Mo one, blah blah blah. Use that, and even within, because there's certain images you have to put out with certain people. You can't just put everybody out there, because some people don't. I know how to act. I get all that, but my point is, black men, like when it comes to fight, it's gonna sound like off the wall, but it's not. Marshawn Lynch is very financially literate, very smart. I like to promote guys like that, because when you see somebody that's financially literate, you think of some square cornball ass nigga. You don't think of a Marshawn Lynch. And what
for
it
those that
shows
don't
is
know, if I'm not mistaken, Marshawn Lynch, he went his whole NFL career and never spent a penny of any of his NFL salary. He just only money he spent is money that he made from like the endorsements that he got. So his whole salary, he retired with his whole salary never touched. So
yeah, we spoke on 50 low key. We spoke on 50 for like 2.5 hours, but I'm gonna get back to that. But my point is, when you look at guys like Marshawn Lynch, tatted up, you know, they are who they are. You gotta look past, and I'm not even if y'all don't fuck with Love Dorsey, fuck that. I don't give a fuck. I'm just giving an example. And so when you look at certain things, image is not people had an issue. Oh, Kevin want everybody to wear a suit. No, the issue is when you look at a black man's image, what do you see? What does America see? And they see the propaganda that they put out, meaning you're not allowed to be nothing else. I remember Angry Man said one time that because Angry Man likes comic books, he's into that world. He said he's a nerd that'll beat your ass. That's the only difference. That's what he said. And a long time ago. And a black woman literally said to him, "No, you not." Like, he ain't allowed to be it, because what she saw was a dude that fit a certain, and she was probably sexually attracted to him, but what she saw was a dude that fit a certain archetype, and that's the only motherfucking thing you could be. So even in a situation where you have the quote unquote sexual hierarchy, you still have to be what you have to be. And if you operate outside of that fucking script, that's a problem. Now, black women, they choose to want to gravitate around certain shit, even though they may manifest that in different ways. But it shows black men are very multifaceted, and people didn't really get the fucking point. That's the thing. So what I'm saying is, you need multiple people to represent ideas to show how diverse we are. Which is one of the reasons why I like the ADOS and non-ADOS thing, because it for us is we're respecting the fact y'all keep saying y'all Nigerian, y'all Igbo, y'all all this other shit. Okay, we're acknowledging that and acknowledging that we always are not on the same page and not always going to have the same agenda. But we acknowledge where you all are coming from and why that is, whether it's Caribbean, whatever, and all the diversity that is black people. Because when it comes to white folks, they big on saying, I'm French, I'm Anglo, I'm Saxon, Anglo-Saxon, I'm Eastern European, but they all about all that shit. But when it comes to us, nigga, you just black and that's it.
So check this out. Just to respond,
you either uppity bag. Yeah, go ahead.
Just to respond to Dark Knight and a couple other guys that talk about, oh, the messenger, it does matter, blah 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 blah. If I'm the messenger, it is important for me to appeal to multiple people or different levels of intelligence, different class levels, etc., as the messenger. But as the receiver of the message, if it's important to you how a motherfucker dress or how they look, and they're giving you a message that either serves you or enables you, if they have to dress a certain way or they have to come packaged a certain way to you as the receiver of the message, then that shows a limitation in your mental capacity, in your thinking. That exposes how you think and your ability to accept something that is benefiting you. So when you guys are saying, well, the message, it always matters, and on the side of the messenger himself, yes, but on the side of the people receiving the message, if you need nigga trinkets, nigga, in order to receive food for thought, then you are mentally limited.
And these are the same
And
niggas.
y'all can take that how you want to, right? Because one thing I will say, and y'all have heard me criticize the right numerous times on this program and on mods. One thing I will say about conservative Republicans is they don't give a fuck about your history, your flaws in your character. The flaws in your character are nothing. If you are effective, you get the job. And on the left, what they is he pure of heart? Is he a priest? Exactly. And that's the thing I don't like about black people is that they will judge you based on character and not your ability to function. Everybody has to be a pure priest and perfect for them to lead you. You want priests and preachers to lead you, not effective people. The woman is effective and she puts out a message to the same women you got an issue with, and you're worried about her neck tattoo. You are limited, brother. You are limited.
And that's anti, and what that shit is, and that shit low. And that shit is really anti-red pill, real talk. And all this, and that's another thing. Don't retreat to the everybody.
I was muted. I was trying to get you.
Don't say. Hold on, I'm gonna make room.
Get Manosphere canceled, bro. Y'all better calm down. You're on a rocky road right now.
Well, I'm gonna make room. Right?
Let me just push pause on the. Hold on. Time out. Let me push pause on the conversation and salute Anton Daniels. What's up, fam? Thank you for coming on through, dropping $100 on it. Do appreciate you. Shout out to Anton Daniels. Greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. I don't know about all this. Nope, I've never did the first time actually speaking to Anton. So shout out to Anton. I've been familiar with him in this space for a while. So yeah, so shout out to Anton. Do appreciate you.
Like and stop and don't dismiss this shit by saying it's just YouTube we talking about. I mean, YouTube can have definitely an impact. If it was just YouTube, they wouldn't have control alt and deleted Andrew Tate like they did. If it's just social media and it don't matter, it don't have no impact, it don't mean shit. You know, if it was harmless, then they wouldn't give a fuck. That's one thing. The second thing, and then I'll make room for other folks, is what was the other thing? It's just an opinion. Everybody has a right to the opinion. But all opinions are not equal. They're not. And I'm not saying, and y'all are looking at who's saying something rather than looking at what's being said in the context behind it. Right. And that shit says so much. It's like, nigga, we are in the black manosphere. There's supposed to be a higher standard. And I've said that you got a lot of motherfuckers here that when it really come down to it, like I said, take the chick out the table. Like you see this manifest in a lot of different ways. I'm gonna say this and I'm done. The biggest criticism that I have of a lot of dudes, hold on, is this. They look for, do I like the nigga first? And then what's being said. If you got and I see that manifested with me, but with a whole bunch, yeah, you're right. And it's like if I put on the I don't like that nigga glasses, then they will, like for instance, I'm a short ass light skinned nigga, and they will somehow, if I'm saying something, they will then go with somehow it's the same shit they said they don't like me for being a short ass light skinned nigga. They would then turn around and say, well, fuck that dark ass 6'6" nigga that's lifting weights, fantastic. Even if he agrees with the same thing. So it doesn't matter. It's that you don't like what you like. That's that goalpost movie shit. I've seen, because when Fantastic used to be on well, I'm gonna say certain channels, regardless of what it is, niggas just be hating out of the blue. And I'm like, this is a dude that's showing his face, all of that. And them niggas just be mad. And it'd be like, why are you mad? And I'm like, wow, man.
The cruise of your message.
And anyway, I love it.
It's basically I attribute it to these single mother raised dudes who inherit how female thinking. And
It ain't just that.
Well, I'm not
But
saying
that's
a
solely
big part.
that,
That's
but
a
I'm saying
huge
it is a
part
big
of it.
part. It is a big part. It is
That's
a big
a
part.
huge part. But let me say this real quick.
Go
Shout out
ahead,
to everybody on the
Fantastic.
panel. Appreciate you, bro. I don't know if the brother was here. No, he's still here. The brother that's up top on the very top, man. He said it the best way it can possibly say it, bro. A lot of you niggas out here moving like bitches. Y'all are doing the same thing that you say women have a problem and issue with doing, and that's I don't like the message because of the messenger. Nigga, I don't give a damn if it's a midget with one eye and a peg leg. If he's telling me something of value and it's right, I'm worried about the message. Again, you niggas don't have enough dick discipline, or you hadn't got through your red pill rage stage enough. And most of you niggas here 30-something years old to the point, oh, it's a bitch saying this, oh fuck it, it's a bitch. Oh, fuck that shit. Brother, again, as much as we talk about, and this is why I say the data and statistics part of this is the most fundamental part, not only as the like content, but as a man, you're supposed to be logical and reasonable.
Right.
Logical and reasonable. And when you let your fucking emotions, of which whatever the fuck you got dealing or whatever, bro, get in front of something that's factual, brother, you're being feminine. And there's way too much feminine shit going on out here, bro, to the point of where, and maybe it's the thing, and like I said, a lot of it's too, but oh man, these bitches making money. Well, brother, how about you make some money, brother? How about you get out here, you show your personality, you show your face, you show your tattoos, you show your whatever, and you fucking make a way. That way, you possibly have the same message to be delivered, but you got a little bit more charisma than her. You got a little bit more comedy than her. You got everything but the titties, but nigga trying to fight them titties and that pussy. Hey, brother, that's an uphill battle because niggas. All right. So again, man, I'm just glad to see brother start saying this, and hopefully it's gonna start getting enacted, because y'all niggas out here on some whole supremacy shit, just like white supremacy, bro. If white supremacy don't exist, nigga, whole supremacy don't exist. All right, and I'm told you, man, fuck your hustle 2022, nigga. That's how I'm getting down with it, bro. This shit gotta stop. There's way too much important shit coming up here, bro, for brothers to be on some emotional, feminine bullshit and being all nigga like, bro. Come on, dog. If you don't like it, and too, if you just don't like it, bro, don't fuck with it. There's a lot of complaining too. Yes, it's a lot of complaining. It's a lot of complaining about some shit that you can fix, brother. Like hell, if I see one person I don't like or something, and I don't value that message or whatever, there's a lot of people that I don't even know of. I just know of. I don't partake of their or consume the content. I learn about them through y'all or whatever. Hey, glance over them, whatever, and move on about my way. You know what I'm saying? But it's y'all love finding some shit you don't like and just keep harping on it, man. That's what a bitch do. You know what I mean? But again, man, my bad. Go ahead.
These niggas sound like they don't want to read books because they ain't got pictures in it or some shit.
That's a good analogy. All right, this is just me playing devil's advocate.
Go ahead. No, well, go ahead, Searcher. I got to step away for a hot second. Y'all got it. I
want you to hear this, Bernie. So
I can still hear you. I can still hear you.
Won't they say? Isn't that the same explanation that they did for get your booty to the polls or no vote, no bucking?
Right.
It's about the message. No. See, y'all get caught up in this whack ass, So, but I generally get what you said or whatever. I'm just saying that I think, how do I say this? Actually, I agree with most of what you said, but I've heard that same messaging for things that are delivered to us in a very dumbed down way. You know what I'm saying?
No, well, it is about respect. Let's see, I wouldn't compare how a woman looks giving me the message that I need to no voting, no
fucking.
booty
to the polls and no voting,
right?
No
because those promotions, what they're doing is they're attempting to speak to us in a language that they think we understand, right? So and it's disrespectful. It's like, dumbing down to deliver the message. And I don't think that that's what this woman is doing. If men will only accept messages from women or women to be advocates for their movement only if they're attractive to them or they found them, sexually desirable, then that's stupid shit. That's stupid.
But brother, that's the issue and the problem. They can't get past that. They get caught up on the looks, and that's more so of the thing where it's an excuse to where if her the more attractive she is, the more her message gets you know,
Right.
canceled out, or it doesn't matter. Niggas just want but could listen because they fuck. And again, that's even if that is true, and a lot of times it is, that's not her fault. That's y'all fault. If you
It's
just
the
want to
same.
fuck a bitch or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's on you, brother. Have some, you know what I'm saying, have some dick discipline. But you
But
know, my whole
right.
thing is this, bro. Just don't watch them. And especially with Love Dorsey, like Love Dorsey is not even really man content. Love Dorsey
Right.
is the bridge between the gap where she on these hoes. And now the problem is, and what niggas don't want to admit is, like, she's the anybody that's going to check women, especially black women, niggas are going to flock to it because a lot of niggas have to live vicariously through that because they don't get to do that in their own real life. See,
Right.
that's what niggas don't want to admit to too. A lot of niggas don't have and don't. Everybody come to YouTube and they super alpha, they super red pill, they, you know, they don't fuck number 8, 9s, and dimes and all that shit, right? But when it
Right.
really when you know, when they get from behind these fucking this keyboard or whatever, the real thing is they not moving like that. So that's why Kevin Samuels popped off. Well, that's all. Kevin Samuels popped off, and all these people that are popping off that are getting to talk to black women like this, man, because a lot of brothers want to do it, but they don't. They don't have either, and it's not even also they're just not built like that. A lot of times you don't even have the chance to, because bro, where are you gonna go to have a conversation with a black woman? You going to a beauty shop? No, of course not. You going to a fucking you know, the girls' night out or whatever, and you know, no, if you at the club, nigga, you trying to get on some bitches. You ain't trying to preach to no bitch.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's a whole nother aspect of it too. Like at the end of the day, bro, your daily interactions with a woman, whether she be black, white, green, or purple, you don't give a damn about telling her none of this red pill shit. You're trying to get your penis wet, my brother, as you should be. So again, man,
Well,
y'all really missing a lot of this shit. Well, hey, man, that may be
no,
you,
no,
brother. I can tell you this.
I'm only speaking for myself, man. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I live the
You
majority.
be having these kind of
I-
conversations. Hold on, Marcus. You be having these kind of
Hey,
conversations,
more
you
All
power
my
know,
to you,
life.
brother.
in real
All my
life
life.
with women.
All my life. All my
Brother,
life. And
are you from the nation, brother? You from the nation or something like that?
no, not at all.
Oh,
Not at
okay.
all.
Well, okay. You might want to join, brother. You're
I
a
mean,
strong candidate. You're a strong
if
candidate.
the
Because
shit
like I
if
ain't
the
trying to
shit
preach
come
about
up,
nothing. I
if the
want
shit
her on her knees, but not to pray.
right, I mean, because yeah, that's what I think. I know where Fantastic coming from, because most of the chicks, I mean, other than family members or co-workers or something like that, most chicks you interact with is chicks that you met that you probably in some way, shape, or form trying to get at. So if the shit come up, you might hit them over the head with some of this shit. But overall,
if a chick want to give it to me, she gonna give it to me no matter what I say. That's my experience with it.
no, okay, I
Like
got what
I
you're
don't.
saying.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You was
No,
gonna say something?
I wasn't saying bite your tongue and censor your actual opinion.
Oh yeah, we're not saying that,
I
brother.
wasn't
I
saying
agree with
that.
you
I
on
was
that.
just
Hey,
saying
everybody get down like that.
in general, this is when I was out there, this wasn't having a manosphere conversation debate with a chick wasn't my fucking mating strategy. That's all I'm saying.
So,
that's what I said. But if the shit came up and I had to just say some real shit to her, oh yeah, she caught some real
Most
shit.
definitely. Yeah. If she want to have a nice, healthy debate, she definitely finna take this L, almost definitely. But yeah, I'm just saying, you for the most part, that's not common.
What you yeah, it's not common. I agree with that. I just finished telling some guys, y'all gonna have to start walking it like y'all talk it, because again, that's why I laughed earlier when you said, everybody come to this space, they super red pill, this, that, and the other, because that's true. You understand? I've been having these conversations since high school with whoever, and whoever didn't like it. Again, I'm good either way. And Jaquan talking about, most of the guys in this space don't like women.
You saw that, right?
Right, I saw that. Nigga, I get more pussy than you, and you'll die with a smaller number than me. I'm gonna just throw that out there to you. Understand this. I don't care, because I can afford to say what I say to women, and I'll put it that way. I can afford to have these conversations with women and say what I want, and then most of the time they don't care.
Well, let me
They'll
ask
get mad.
Jaquan an important question. Are you saying like women, like them as people, or are you just saying most of the dudes in this space is gay? Which one is you saying?
No.
Because one of them is practically a blockable offense. The other one is like, okay,
you know what it is. It's like if we having conversations like this, then it's basically the whole weak ass incel type argument and all that shit.
Right?
So they gotta throw in their little snide ass jabs and shit.
Jaquan is the one going back and forth with me about Love Dorsey. Like he sounds like super cape to me, to be honest. I'm gonna just say that, you know. But at the end of the day, my name ain't Keep It 100 for nothing. I annoy the shit out of women with the shit that I have to say.
Right.
Okay, in real time, before the internet, YouTube, any of this shit was here. You know, I've been like this, and I've always felt the way that what's your man's name? Fantastic. I've always felt that way. There's guys out here that they would not, you know, put the pussy on the line for their opinions, and I've done that countless times. So, and I got too many people that'll tell you this is facts. So, while I agree with you, I have to claim to be an exception to that.
Right.
Oh no, well no, you took what I was saying were wrong, brother. I'm not saying like you hold your opinion for the sake of the pussy. That's not what I was saying. I was just saying like that's like if it comes up to where some crazy, yeah, okay. Well, like
I didn't take it that way.
Like, I'm gonna say what I want to say.
You. Yeah, most men are exactly what you're saying. Most men are exactly what I didn't say that you were saying that I was like them. Nah. Don't take it wrong, bro. I understand exactly what you're saying. I agree with you.
Oh no,
I agree with you.
No, it's cool. Like I said, yeah.
These dudes be,
but yeah, man. And just to the topic from again, man. This just goes to show you, Bernard, what we've been saying too, right? A lot of the times, and it's crazy, especially when you talk about like the high value man conversation. And that was the biggest thing to where I think it got lost, and we didn't capitalize it to be like, well, look, man. Not only do y'all not even have a chance or a shot with these top 10% of the men, especially y'all talking about, you know, interracially. But, you know, y'all not even, you know, handling this right at the 90% level of the average man or the, you know, or the about to be average man or the Henrys or whatever you want to call them, right? So people like to make this like exclusively, well, you niggas don't make enough money for a prenup. No, bitch. Yes, I do. Yeah, it's just the fact of the matter that I'm taught like a poor person's mindset and not to be able to protect myself because I'm planning on never having anything. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, you learn that, hey, regardless of what you are, because you don't plan on being this way, you know, 10, 20, 30 years from now, yeah, you get a prenup regardless. But the whole thing, man, is this child support thing, bro, goes from top to bottom. You know, these dudes that are, you know, $6,500, $6,700, right?
Yeah, $6,700 a month. I mean, yeah.
So 67 a month, 6,700 a month is a lot of money to the average person, but it's not even shit to, huh?
Plus tuition being paid for the school.
Oh shit! So yeah, even just that, the $6,700, because that's what it was before he started going to college, right? So $6,700 is a lot of money for anybody, right? Even though it's just 50 cents, it's nothing at all.
80K untaxed. 80K untaxed.
Yeah. So
yeah, just 80K
the fact of the matter is they don't look at these men that are out here working 9 to 5 and making 40 grand. You know what I'm saying? 40 grand a year. And they're getting hit in the head for that $500, $600, $900 a month for one kid. You know what I'm saying? Just because they don't, you know, because the bitch don't make no money. She in Section 8 or she in government housing or all this other whatever. So she's maximizing her shit, and now he got to come out of pocket for that, along with, you know, actually spend time with his kid and provide his own place to stay and all these different things. So it just lets you know just this child support shit, bro, is so messed up, upside down everywhere from top to bottom, you know, through the financial classes, but also the evilness of this damn, you know, warping your son's mind, man. I mean, you know, kids, your kids are important, but you know, a man's son, you know, that's your lineage, man. That's the little you and who you're supposed to pass down your legacy to. So for her to it's so that shit happens a lot, bro. Like I said, I went through that shit personally, bro. I had to save my own son from that shit. He was headed down that road because his mom just hated me that much. And the vindictiveness of these bitches, bro, I'm telling you, they will take their kids down with them. They don't care. So now, you know what I'm saying? He got the 6,700, which he didn't even get that money. He didn't get to enjoy. I mean, what would y'all say? How much of that money he got out of 6,700? I say, because remember, 50 Cent. I saw the video you showed, Bernard, where she was hitting him up. Hey, your son want these shoes. So he already paying the $6,700 a month, but then too he giving the kid extra bread. You see what I'm saying? So how much of that 6,700 this kid even enjoy? And now he done cut himself off for the rest of his whole life, you know what I'm saying, life, because he wanted to listen to his damn mama. It was too late. You can't go back and reverse it.
So under what he said, his argument, basically, whatever sneakers that this kid wanted should have came out that 6,700. That means the mother
Most
should have got
definitely.
that 6,700 and took her son to buy whatever he wanted to have, right? Since the argument is, well, this ain't good enough and this ain't good enough, take the money that I'm giving you and get what you think is suitable because you can afford it, because I paid for it already. And there it is. But you know, we failing our sons and blah blah blah. You know, the lipstick, you know, pink haired women will tell us this. We failing.
Can I get some perspective on the 6,700? So we constantly, well, we don't, but you know, six figures is often thrown out there. Six figures is really 50,000, 60,000 liquid. You know, I'm talking about if you want to talk exact 100,000. So that just tells you how much 6,700 tax-free is.
Right.
You know, and then also I wanted to get both of your thoughts on this. What do you think, particularly you, Mr. Fantastic, about him? Listen, you can have, I got disputes with my father. I'm not going public with it. Granted, I'm not a celebrity figure, but y'all just keep these things in-house because it to me look real suspect. You going on these IGs talking, you know, it makes you look like a bitch, for lack of a better term.
Well, he's raised by a woman. He has a clear feminine mindset, and these young cats don't know. Not only that, these young cats are being indoctrinated to young boys be in touch with your feminine side. It's okay to be, you know, be emotionally vulnerable. All this crazy ass propaganda, you know, to just, you know, eliminate any type of masculinity and, you know, the family unit. And I think what's the crazy ass black dude with the always running around talking crazy, Charleston White. Like Charleston White said it, and I think people finally heard it on a national scale for the most. Now, black boy is taught to just despise authority, right? He don't like the white man, fuck 12, fuck the police, all this sort of. But he's told to kill you. He see another black man, you're disposable. You're just a nigga that he can kill. And if he get, and you know, that's either go do one or two things. You know, he go be King Von out here, being the goddamn serial hood killer. You know, and he gonna live off that shit and probably get popular and you know what I'm saying, all that other shit until it's his time to go, or he gonna sit down and you know live his days out in jail and be fucking, you know, 2022 Tupac, one of the two.
All right. Sodomy and Chicken in the building. He says Andrew Tate equals bad, synthetic G equals good. That alone should tell you there is no patriarchy. She wouldn't be able to run her mouth in a real patriarchy. Agreed. But all right. Shout out. I think that was the last person that came through on the super chat in. All right, I think we about to wrap this bad boy on up. I'm 3 hours in. It's around that time. I think I gotta go pick my son up from school. It's right around that time. But so, all right, look, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Mr. Fantastic, Sir Tice. Keep it 100. Who else was on here? Edward Anderson. Thank y'all for coming on through. Thank you, everybody who supported the stream. Azrael, definitely. And thank you again to Anton. Shout out to Anton. I gotta pull up. I've been plotting on pulling up on Fight Club. I might just do it now. But shout out to Anton coming through the hard, heavy-handed $100 super chat. Do appreciate that. And one last thing before I get out of here, and I'm probably not gonna find it.
Hey fam, stay on for a second.
I wanted to shout out Jaquan real quick. He said he rocks with me, bro. It ain't nothing personal here. And you know, for anybody who's wondering how I keep it with these women, tonight is the soft girl shit, right? Me and old girl gonna go back and forth. All right. About the soft girl life, right? This is a female. She's not random. She's not somebody from the internet. This is somebody I know for years. Okay. And you know, she has this soft girl perspective. So I'm gonna let her get her shit off, and then it's gonna be bombs away. So if you don't want to miss that, that is tonight, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We going back and forth with it about the soft girl life. She gonna say some ridiculous shit, and I'm gonna knock it down. So there it is.
All right, and RM guy just dropped it in the chat room right there. Y'all can see it right there. So make sure y'all click on the link, go subscribe to Keep It 100. If you're not there, you're gonna have an actual soft girl on there to debating with them. That's gonna be good. I'll make sure I check that out too. What time you say?
That's 6 p.m. Western Pacific time and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. 9
Right,
p.m. on the East
okay.
Coast. So for y'all guys in the middle, I guess y'all can figure it out.
Yeah, 9 p.m. EST.
Yeah,
9 p.m. Eastern.
I knew you'd blow it up today on this one. I'll have to catch the replay. I'm going out tonight, but yeah.
He like, I'm going to be around some real soft girls.
You know this, man.
All right.
Yeah,
and one last thing. If you're in the Detroit area, come hang out with me and a few Black Manosphere bros, basically just a few of the content creators and subscribers getting together at Barcade in Detroit. If y'all in the Detroit area, come hang out for games and drinks October 17th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's no cover charge or fees. Just come on through, click the Evite. It's in the chat room. Hell, RM, drop that one again real quick so they can click that Evite before they get out of here. So y'all come and come on through and hang out if you're in the Detroit area. Just getting together, chopping it up, having some drinks, networking. The whole works. So just come on.
I might fly there for that because I got to see my mother anyway. So
you're gonna be.
I gotta look at the flights today real quick. I'm going to the Lions Cowboys game, so I got spaces out, but I might be there. So.
All right, cool. That's what's up. Yeah. But all right, yeah. Anything else, y'all? Y'all got anything else before I shut it down? Y'all got anything else?
I might one day pop up at one of these Detroit functions, man.
Hey, this ain't where you at? No, you in
I'm in Vegas. I'm in Vegas, but I got people in Detroit, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh no, if you're in the area, you're in the area. I mean, it ain't that big of an event that I don't catch a flight just for that. But
no, not area, this one. I said one of these, not this one.
Yeah. At some point. Yeah, if you're in the area, definitely come on through. But all right, y'all, we getting up on out of here. Thank you, everybody who supported the stream, everybody who liked, shared, subscribed, or anything to support it. Do appreciate you. With that said, we're out of here. Peace.
One.